All right, I'm live. I have a part two, a part two, and a part three. I have not posted the part two yet. I did the part two yesterday, but this should be lit. This should be it right here. Hopefully, this is the last of this argument right here. I'm going to present some more information that I accumulated last night taking notes on. Well, I did not do that. On the rights of U.S. nationals in Morocco. I'm going to specify and precisely interpret that, the meaning of that. So I'm going to ask the questions, AMPAC Moroccans or Moorish Americans, and I'm going to ask various questions about their government and what I consider mishaps. What I consider mishaps. Okay, let's go into the PDF. Where's the PDF? All right, here it is right here. So I don't know if the Morocco leaders are going to come back up here. I had the Moroccan leaders up here yesterday. So I pretty much would prefer the Morocco leaders to come up, before I start the video, because I know I told them like 1 p.m. or something, but man, I be late sometime. I'm sorry about that. I don't know if you tried to come up here, Choctaw person.
Oh, hell no. I did.
Oh, shit. What up, Choctaw, man? I ain't seen you in a minute, man. What's up, man?
Nothing much there.
Man, you the countryest mestizo I ever heard in my life, man.
Mestizo.
Ain't you a mestizo, man?
That's a European. You still using European words.
Man, you ain't
Well,
no certified.
I ain't part of Mexico, so I wouldn't be mestizo.
Oh, yeah, you right. But you still ain't no certified N-word. You know what I'm saying? Like me. You feel me? I'm certified, bro. You sound like us, but you don't look like us. You feel me?
Well, they called us that too, though. They called
Oh,
us N words.
yeah, that's true, though. I ain't gonna hate on you, bro. They do. You feel me? But y'all Moors too, man, whether you like it or not, dog. Feel me?
Moors was, yeah, like I said, from Morocco.
No. See, then we gotta go back to hold on. Let me go on and prove it to you right quick, man. See, you don't understand how language works. Let me prove it right quick. Let me show you something, bro. Let me show you something right quick.
Early terms when they used Moor was like for people that was black over here in the United States.
I mean, we ain't black. If you see the people on this screen, ain't none of them black. You see what I'm saying? So that's not true, bro. Y'all call these people black, but they're not
No,
black.
I didn't. I
I
didn't.
mean,
That's what
that's true.
the Europeans called y'all. So.
Yeah, but we don't accept them terms. We ain't slow like that. We ain't accepting none of that. So more don't mean black to us. It just means you can absorb the sun really well. That's all it mean to us. The sun love you.
I could be a more then because I could go all day in the sun.
Right, that's all it mean. You ever heard of the word tomorrow and morning? It's like dealing with light, man. It's dealing with the sun.
God damn.
Yeah, yeah, I'm trying to tell you, man. They tricked us, dog.
Already.
Yeah, man, they tricked us, dog. They took that away from us, and all of us. A lot of these so-called tribes is Moorish tribes. They just lying, bro. Okay, where is it at? Right here. Here it is, right here. Let me show you right quick. Let me see, man. Okay, flip. How do you do it? Okay, yeah, right here. So right here, it's all about language and dialect, like how we say Moreno. See, the Sagamore is the supreme leader, paramount chief of the Native Americans. See, that's different than Indian. Indian is some whole different people. Native Americans is Americans. See, that's why we say Native American. We don't say Indian. But Sagamores is native people, indigenous people. Indians came from India. You know what I'm saying? So you feel me? I can show you a gang of more um examples of Moors being.
Sagamore. Ah,
Watch
damn.
this.
Sagamore.
Yeah, but that's American though. You can't take that away from us. Here go another one. Timakua, the Timakua chief. Watch this. Timakua chief. I'm finna show y'all we been using this. May Ara. Hold on. See, I got my receipts. Where is that? Aurora. Right here. Let me go and get my receipts. It's all about dialect, bro, and pronunciation. Like somebody arguing me right now about Creole and Criollo. It's the same word. You feel me? So our people, they just
Yeah.
want to argue about anything. Now look at this right here. This Timucua town. Just pay attention right quick. Look at that. We go down here. Oh, where is it? Oh, let's go to the M's. Where the M's at? Where's the M? Let's go all the way down. All right, here we go, right here. Now look at this right here. It's about pronunciation. Mayarque, Mayera, Mayara, Morocco. See, Morocco is a chief and town in Florida. See, it's the same as Morocco, but it's about spelling that's throwing people off. This is in Florida, bro. The Mayaca people. Then here you go right here, Mayara, a town and a chief. It's the same as Moorish, like Maroons.
Ah, yeah.
You feel me? It's just a different rendition of these people trying to separate the same culture. That's why Seminole wear termins, and that's why they're known as Samoran and Maroon. But they'll just tell you runaway slave. I can show you so many other examples of Moorish, all throughout America, man.
They,
And
they,
they're
they,
just hating.
they pencil whipped y'all.
Yeah, they pencil whip. That's the word I'm looking for. And this how we came back and bust they dome. See, we bust they dome with this right here. Where is it at? I think this is it right here. See, this how we come back and took everything back from them because of the buildings. See, it's only one people who can build like this, and that's the Moorish. See, the Moorish palace is all up and down the exposition. Let me show you this right quick. Now, that's just one Moorish palace. Now, check this out. Pan American. See, now we getting up in here with these buildings and electricity. We're able to separate ourselves from the tribal Indian. We're able to separate ourselves from the Choctaw. We're able to separate ourselves from the five civilized tribe because they don't got none of this. But we know the Moors do. He said we built that. Yeah, we did, brother. We did. The Moorish did. Now look at us, our Moorish Pan-American. This is not Pan-African. Oh, this is Moorish. You know how I know? Because Chicago was the international hub of the world. It's the international hub of the world, and Moors got the most buildings in Chicago. Somebody said Creole is Spanish descendants. No, it ain't. It's like y'all gotta come harder than just repeating what y'all get on Google, man. Come harder than that, yo. And I'll go on and I'll debunk y'all right now. Anybody. Let me show you. Watch this. Let me show you right quick. I'll debunk all y'all.
So all them buildings were here before 1492?
Yeah, majority of them was. Majority of them
Oh.
was. I got 100% proof. And you know, it's a lot of research right now going on proving that they did not build these buildings, you know, over here with horses and buggies. Because remember, they came over here with donkeys and buggies and hammers and knew they didn't
Yeah,
want to say they built these buildings.
exactly. Yeah, dude.
It don't make no sense. Now, Choctaw is another word for Choctaw, which is a noble cottage or a noble dwelling. So Choctaw is a noble people. It literally means noble people. It don't mean what they trying to tell us. You feel me? So to the person in my chat talking about some Criollo means descendants of Spanish, no, it don't. You got to stop Googling and get in these old books. Now, I can go into these books and show you right now that Criollo means native. It's just a Spanish, it's a Spanish dialect of explaining the native people. That's all it means. And let me go in here and show you right quick. You know, so since y'all want to get up in here trying to tell me something, watch this. I'm gonna go on to prove y'all wrong, but I'm gonna move on to the video. Hold on, where is that? I'm gonna go on and show you that y'all gotta stop that surface research. Y'all lazy, man. You know, y'all go in there and read that one Google page and y'all, oh, I know everything. That's how they is. You know it. You come on now. You know how they is. You know how our skin folk is. I call them skin color folk because everything's skin color to them. They go in there and Google Moors from North Africa. I read it on Google. All right, brother. Good luck to you, brother. For real. All right, here you go. Creole. All right, here you go right here. Creole. Where's that? Criollo, Criollo, native. Okay, here it go right here. Now, this one of the dictionaries right here to those Spanish people talking about it means Spanish and don't know no better. See, okay, where is that? All right, hold on, let me see. Right here, Criollo. It's Criollo being Creole. It's the same word. I just had a woman, I forgot her name, Z Amaru. She's in my DMs right now trying to tell me Criollo is not Creole. It's Spanish. But look at this. Criollo. Creole. Number two, native. National. Criollo. Native. Cuisine. All it means is native. Criollo means Criollo. Creole. It's the same word. It's just different dialects. And like I say, the skin color folks, they just want to be right about everything. That's their whole MO is lackluster research, but they know everything. See, I'm not gonna call them BLACK. I'm just gonna call them skin color folk, because that's all they talk about is black and white anyway. So anyway, Criollo don't mean nothing but native. It don't mean some mixed people. Y'all made that up. You know how I know? Because the only sources y'all got is listening to white folks. That's all y'all sources is. Well, let's move on. Let's go on and move on back to these folks, and hopefully they come up here because they don't got no win. Hopefully y'all come up here. These people right here is trying to convince us we is in the Morocco Empire. He said it's saying it mean food. Let me go back. You can't make this up, bro. I really block people for stuff like that, for making mistakes like that. But I'm gonna go all the way back and help you with your literacy. I'm gonna go on and help you. Okay, I'm gonna do it one more time. I don't want to do this, but I'm gonna do it though. Okay, Criollo, Cree Bar Cree. All right, here it go right here. One more time. Because they want to get technical. One thing about these folks that don't get right, they want to be technical about every little thing. But they ain't going to be technical about the word black. They ain't going to be technical about the word Afro, Indian. They don't want to get technical with them words, but they want to get technical with anything you ascertain. Listen to this. Look at it. Let's read it one more time. Let me help you with a dictionary. Okay. Hold on. All right, Criollo. Look, it says Criollo. Number one, Creole. Number two, native, national. Semicolon, native cuisine. So these are different rendering. It's different understandings and different explanations. You're not going to tell me that native national is a cuisine. See, you can't do that. A native national is not a cuisine. Comida criollo, native cuisine. So what does comida criollo mean? He said it means food. Block that food. Get your ass out of here. Get your ass out of here. It don't say that. It clearly says it right here. Do you see that? You see that punctuation right there? It says punctuation. It's a punctuation mark right here. Comida criollo, semicolon. That means the sentence is cut off. One, two, cut off. You feel me? So you're not even reading it. You just want to be right. It says it right here. Let's go back. One, Creole. Two, native. Apostrophe, national. A native national. Then it goes on to say comida criolla, native cuisine. See, that's what you call not being able to comprehend. You feel me? Oh, I'm block you. I'm blocking all y'all. Get on up out of here. It's too many of these weirdos. How you block this dude? Block. Get up out of here. Get up out of here. I want you out of here, man. Get up out my life. All right, let's get to AMPAC. Let's get back to AMPAC. And I'm going to go ahead and do the rundown on them, either they pop up in here or not. I know I said 1 o'clock. It don't matter. Don't matter what time I said. Y'all still should be up in here. Okay, let's go right up in here. Where is that? Where's the PDF at? And this ain't even going to take me that long. Okay, let's go in here. Now, rights concerning. Let me show you where y'all messed up at. And I know y'all know. I know deep down inside y'all know I was going to prove that y'all is misusing this documentation. I know deep inside your heart, y'all know I know what I'm talking about, and it hurt. It's going to be a painful experience. So they're using this document to say the United States of America is in Morocco. But no, it's actually the rights of the nationals of the United. So the nationals are the people that go abroad for business. That's what a national is. You a citizen in your city, but once you move abroad, you become a national. Your nationality matters in other countries. And here it don't matter because you're just a citizen. You're here with us. Once you go to this different country, your nationality gonna matter because you need a passport. So this is the national of the United States of America that's in Morocco, which is a state at the time. So what I'm gonna do is use this document to prove that they are a state. They're trying to use this document to prove that they are an empire. I'm gonna use this same document to debunk them and prove that Morocco is a state in Africa. And on top of that, it's a state in Africa with 3 different zones. So the empire of Morocco is going to have to explain, if you so much of an empire, why you got all these different European zones in your country, and you have to sit up there and take the blame for bringing all these Europeans. Because like I said, it is the Morocco Moors who brought the Europeans, and I'm finna prove it right now. Watch this. Watch this right here, y'all. These Morocco Moors. So right here, they're trying to convince us that Noble Drew Ali said that we were some Moroccans. No, he did not. Noble Drew Ali said he was a Moorish American, and that you was descendants of Moroccans and born in America. So he's talking about a whole different Moroccans. As you can see, it's spelled with 2 R's. He's talking about a whole different Moroccans. And, they want to go in here and use this right here. Look at it. It says it right here. Number 34. What is the title given to our ruler in Morocco? A sultan. So the name of their leader is a sultan. So I asked the leader of the Morocco people, I said, brother, since you want to quote Noble Drew Ali, where is the Moroccan Empire? It says it right here, northwest of Maxim. Then I said, brother, where is northwest of Maxim? What is the modern name for a Maxim? Africa. He didn't have nothing to say. Brother got to get, he started going haywire. Brother, you're from Africa. It clearly said your empire is from Africa, brother. We're over here calling ourselves American because we want to be American, and they're telling us we can't be American because white people is American. When the definition of 1828 say the various aboriginals. So now on top of that, and U.S. Marines wipe floor with Morocco corsairs on the shores of Tripoli. I agree with that, Sultan. And that was like in the 1900s, though. And that wasn't like, it was just a group of what they call Barbary pirates. And it was like 1900 and something. They had, what is the word I'm looking for? I can't say the word. They abducted a European journalist. They was still abducting Europeans and taking them into the Atlas Mountains in the early 1900s and suspecting them of human trafficking. And they had took a European woman, one of the Morocco dudes, and that's why the Marines went over there and stormtrooped them. I got the whole story. But anyway, I'm just trying to prove the Morocco Moors of the Moroccan Empire over here, AMPAC, is from Africa. Don't quote Noble Drew Ali if you ain't gonna quote everything. Y'all are from Africa, bro. The modern name from Maxim is Africa. So when the Moors had an empire, yeah, they was in Africa. They was in Europe too, because that's what an empire do. They set up business everywhere. They was in Asia. They was in Middle East. They was in India. They was an empire. But now y'all are just a state. I'm about to use y'all documentation to prove y'all ain't nothing but a state. And that's it. We ain't going to talk about it. Hopefully, man, I'm hoping that y'all pop up the Morocco Empire. But let's go on and prove y'all are a state, bro. Number 20. Let's go in here. I'm good at what I do. I think they know it too. They know they're not going to survive this onslaught. Number 20. It's number 20. I know that for sure. So right here, we about to read. Hold on. Where is this light coming from? We about to read the French zone, Spanish zone. Okay, what we about to read right here? What is it right here? Number 20 shows that they're a state, right? Hold on. The Spanish zone. I think this is it. I know I screenshotted it. But anyway, I'm going to read it anyway, and it's still going to help me debunk them. This is the rights of the U.S. nationals. Here, let me see. Let me see if y'all can help me right quick. Let me see. Right here it says the rights, case concerning rights of nationals of the United States of America and Morocco. So what I'm saying is the Morocco Moors in America are trying to tell me this is Morocco because of this case right here. They're saying this is the Empire of Morocco and the United States is inside of Morocco. And I'm like, no, it's not, bro. No, it's not. This is over in Africa. All this happened in Africa. This did not happen in America. And let me prove it to you. Let's go back to number 20. Okay, number 20. Let's go to number 20. Let's go to 20. Check this out. The general treaty patterns. Hold on, let me blow it up a little bit more. A little bit more, ski. A little bit more. The general treaty pattern emerges from an examination of the treaties made by Morocco and France, the Netherlands, Great Britain, Denmark, Spain, United States, Sardinia, Australia, Belgium, and Germany over the period 1631 to 1892. These treaties show that the intention of the most favored nation clauses was to establish and maintain at all times fundamental equality without discrimination among the countries concerned. Further, hold on, I understand steady as possible. Okay, what did I say? Further, the provisions of Article 17 of the Madrid Convention, regardless of the scope, clearly based on the maintenance of equality. The contention would therefore run contrary to the principle of equality and it will perpetrate discrimination. It cannot support the submission of the United States regarding the extent of the consular jurisdiction in the French zone. See, now you got a French zone. Watch this. The second contention of the United States is based on the geographical limited character of the renunciation of the consular jurisdiction by Great Britain. This was restricted in its scope to the French zone. It has claimed on behalf of the U.S. that Great Britain retained its jurisdictional rights in the Spanish zone. So they got a French zone and a Spanish zone. The Morocco Empire is going to have to prove to us that America that we live in has a Spanish zone and a French zone. Now, guess what? They also have a Tangier zone. Let me look that up. Watch this. Tangier zone. Tangier zone. So look at this. The Tangier International Zone, French Zone de Tangier, was in Tangier, Morocco from 1924 to 1956. It was surrounded by the Spanish protectorate. So this is in Morocco. They would have to prove to us that there's a Tangier zone in North America, or what they call the Morocco Empire. They got to show us the Spanish zone. They got to show us the French zone. You see what I'm saying? They're talking about this, the Empire of Morocco. What is all these different countries doing inside your empire? And they're all European Christian countries. So it's sounding like they're literally telling on themselves as the sellouts, y'all. They got all these three different zones. They're going to have to show us in North America, where is these zones? Where are the zones that we can go find these zones at to prove that this happened in America? And they're not going to find it. And that's why they're not on this live, because they knew I was going, I was going to do what I do. Now, hold on. Let me go and get one more thing. Okay. Exposition. Ain't no way y'all didn't screenshot it. Ain't no way. Hopefully I screenshot it. It's on the wrong phone. Oh, man. I did not screenshot that joint. Let's go back to number 20. Texas was part of Spain, Louisiana, and French. Texas was part of. I don't understand that. That's contradictory to y'all being an empire. You don't make no sense, fam. You know what a protectorate is? Go and show me what a protectorate is. Y'all don't have no sovereign power, sir. Somebody else is your overseer, sir. So a sultan is over y'all empire, right? Y'all are up here talking about some. Y'all, an empire is multiple countries within an empire. Now I'm about to show you with this same document that y'all are viewed as a state. Y'all are a state. I'm about to prove it to you right now. Are you ready? It don't matter if it was Texas at one point Spain. No, it was not Spain, sir. It was an occupation. So what I'm gonna do with this same document is prove that y'all are a single country. Y'all are not an empire. Are you ready for that, King Cali Slots? I want you to respond to my comment. I'm gonna prove what you're saying. Because remember, y'all are calling yourselves an empire. An empire encompasses multiple countries and territories across the planet. So now I'm about to prove to you that y'all are a single country. Y'all are not multiple countries. Right in your own document that's going to debunk you. So watch it. I'm finna read it right now. Are you ready? Now, the second contention, watch this. This is pretty much the game over right here for the Morocco Empire. It's over because y'all not an empire. Y'all was an empire in the 1800s. In the first peace treaty in 1836. Right. Also, I thought you was on their side. I agree with you. It's a kingdom at this point. They're saying no, it's not a kingdom. They're saying it's an empire. That's what they're arguing me. The Sultan came on my channel. I'm gonna post a video in a little while. So let's read this. They're not an empire. They're a single state. He said yes, it was an empire, but according to this document, y'all are not. Now pay attention. The second, I want you to. I'm finna make you. I'm finna make you. I'm finna make you read it and weep. Watch this. I'm going to prove that it was not an empire according to this document. Watch this. The second contention of the U.S. is based upon the geographical limited character of the renunciation of the consular jurisdiction. Okay, whatever. I don't know how y'all going to fix this up. Y'all can try to fix it all y'all want. That's why I didn't want to share this information. Because once you give somebody information, they'll go and redact and they'll omit and they'll try to take back what they said. Y'all are a empire, fam. You have no business having these people over y'all. Y'all are a empire. Y'all gave the United States permission. Y'all gave France permission. Y'all gave Spain permission. That is what y'all teaching. I'm saying no, y'all are not. They're giving y'all permission. Y'all Morocco laws are y'all Morocco laws. It don't pertain to everybody else. The Morocco laws is only getting exercised on Moroccans. Y'all is not having no jurisdiction over nobody else. That's what this document is about. And the Spanish zone, the French zone, the United States, preferred partnership, the Tangier zone. All these different zones got different jurisdictions within the state Morocco. Now let's prove it's a state and not an empire right now. Now, it has been claimed on behalf of the United States. Wow, what is this in a way? Okay, the United States, Great Britain retain its jurisdictional rights in the Spanish zone. See, they're not going to show you a Spanish zone. They're going to say, oh, didn't Spain have rights over Texas? Yes, that was in the 1600s, sir. We're talking about 1912 to 1956. Texas was not no Spanish zone, sir. They had been got up out of here. Remember, they had the Louisiana Purchase. They was already gone. They had the Mexican Cession in 1850. They had been gone. Y'all are making up stuff. Now let's go right here. In the Spanish zone, and it has been argued that the United States, which still treats Morocco as a single country. Morocco is a single country. It is not no empire because the empire got a lot of countries. It says it right here. The United States is treating them like a single country. They're not treating them like no empire. It is entitled under the most favored nation clause in Article 24 of this treaty to the same jurisdiction rights which Great Britain today exercises in part of Morocco by virtue of the Treaty of 1856. Okay, you're supporting what I'm talking about. None but love to you, brother King Khaled. I'm debunking that they're a empire. They're not an empire. They are a state, and they are a kingdom at this time. No, they're not a kingdom. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. I believe they became a kingdom when? In 1954. When did Morocco become a kingdom? Let me go make sure. I don't want to just guess. When did Morocco kingdom? Let's get the right date. Oh, 1956. Okay. So this is 4 years later when they formed. But either way it go, the kingdom was still a state. Let's go back. Let's go back. It don't matter if it wasn't a kingdom, they're still a state. You feel what I'm saying? Let's go back. Man, y'all didn't think I was gonna read this or something? They really thought I wasn't gonna read this document. No, no, where is the French zone at? Where the French where okay, so since you want to talk about didn't Mr. Kelly slots, I'm not saying you against me. I'm saying you have to show me the Tangier zone. Where is the Tangier zone in America? And I think I might know. I think I might know, by the way. I think I might know. But y'all got to show me. All right, let's go right here. The United States, which still treats Morocco as a single country. So that means y'all are not an empire. Y'all are not multiple countries. It's a single country that they're dealing business with, not no multiple countries. Morocco was under French, not Spain. But you know what? It mentions right here the Spanish, look, the French zone, and it mentions the Spanish zone. See, French zone, right? Right? And the Spanish zone. Let's go back. So let's go and get the Spanish zone. Where's that Spanish zone at? I just went over somewhere. Right here, you see it? The Spanish zone. So the Spanish protectorate in Morocco, you got to explain that. Then you got to explain the French protectorate. Then you got to explain the Tangier protectorate. Let's go and get the Tangier. The Tangier zone. See, the Tangier International Zone is the same year y'all is out there. You feel me? What's the date on this? Look, 1925 until its reintegration into the independent Morocco, 1956. So y'all got to sit up there, 1925. Where is the Tangier zone in America since America is Morocco? You feel me? Where is y'all Tangier zone? You got a Spanish zone, you got a French zone, you got a Tangier. Where is Tangiers in America? Right? And I think I might know, but I'm not helping with that. I'm not helping. Y'all got to know this stuff. Y'all got all these different zones in America. I don't know who wrote this paperwork because this is their document. I don't know who wrote it. This is their document. They're running around here using this document to justify this is Morocco. They're gonna have to show me who wrote this document. The what is the dude called? The Sultan. The Sultan. We're not in no Sultan. We don't have no Sultan. Now let's go back. They thought that I was a goofy, and they was up here talking all that crap. Noble Drew Ali said he's a Moorish American because he's born in America, and Morocco is his descent, right? He's the descendant of the Moroccos. Now let's go to 34. The Moroccan Empire. Where is the Moroccan Empire, sir? They're trying to Africanize us. They're nothing but feds. They just got let out of prison, and the government is like, look, we're going to let you guys out early. Just go tell them they are the Morocco Empire. Because the feds already read Noble Drew Ali documents. So they want to make you the Morocco Empire so they can justify calling you a African. It says it right here. The Northwest of Mexico, Moroccan Empire. What is the modern name for it? Africa. So that means y'all are Africans, bro. Y'all are not going to escape. What is the ruler of Africa or Morocco? Sultan. That's why we are Moorish Americans. We respect that we're related to them, but we got a different type of constitutional government. We don't have no sultan. A sultan is a person that rules over Morocco. Now, Morocco is in Africa. Morocco is not in America. That's why we spell it differently. We have a different spelling. We spell our Morocco differently. See what I'm saying? We got two R's. We got one R. We got A-Y. It's different renderings. It sounds the same, but we spell it differently so they won't have ownership. That's why we say Moorish American, because we don't want them owning our stuff. We're not going to let them own our stuff. We know our descendants is melanin. You melanin. We know we related to Jesus or Yeshua. We know we're related to Ruth the Moabitess, but we're not going to let no Sultan determine us because of that. The Sultan is going to go about his business. You feel what I'm saying? The Sultan got to move around, bro. Yeah, we are American. I'm with you. I'm an American national. I love being American. They're telling us we can't be American. We can't be an American when the prophet said, yes, we are. We are a part and parcel of this said government. Our ancestors fought for this. This is ours too. And they're trying to take this from us because it's called birthright. We the only ones who got birthright. Everybody else is just trying to piggyback off us because the black people ain't waking up. The blacks ain't waking up. They're trying to piggyback off us because they don't know how to execute law and how to protect themselves. They're up here calling themselves black. So now the tethers and stuff coming over here, taking their place because they don't even know their real identity. Bro, Noble Drew Ali said Moorish American. He didn't say no Morocco Americans. Moroccan is a thing of the past. You understand me? That's an ancient thing, a back in the day thing. And it's also a English word. Let me prove it. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. And I'm going to end the video, man. Look at this. Let's go back. Let's go back here. So like I said, we are smart enough to not let Morocco's Sultan. See, we know how to use Creole. Creole is a linguistics that allow us to say the same thing, but spell it and pronounce it a little differently. Like Criollo and Creole. Creole. It means the same thing, but it's pronounced differently. And that's how we get ownership. Let's go. Let's go. And one thing I want to mention about Florida, man, they got a lot. Look at that, Malaccas. Remember, Malacca is a Malaga civilization. Right? Not one person from all platforms took the $300 offer to prove they are black. Exactly, because they all know. Now look at this right here, Brother King Cali Slot. This is in Florida, Morocco, but it's spelled different than their English word. A chief and a town. Let's go. Look at this leader. Now their leader is called the Ma'ara or Mora. It's the same thing as Mora, a town and a chief. St. John's River. You feel me? It's the same word, the Mora, the Moro. You feel me? Mayera. You see, it's the same word, bro. Morocco, the same word, but they took our stuff. They're over here hiding it. So our ancestors were smart enough not to use that English. They used Creole. Because when they trick you to use that English, they own the word. That's all they're doing is owning stuff through trademark and copyright. Their copyright needs terms, owning it. Because they were smart. But our ancestors were smart too. Now let's go back. Our ancestors was too smart. You feel me? So this go back to the Sagamores. You know, the Sagamore Sasham chief was the leaders. See, the Moors was already here. They was already here, bro. But they knew to say Shagamal or Shikamaga. Let's say Shikamaga. Watch this. Shikamaga. Shikamal. See, our ancestors got a different pronunciation. It's the same word as Sagmore. Shikamal, Sheik Moors. It's the Sheik Mao. See, our ancestors don't really say Moors. They say Mao or Mo. Man, who the Mo's is? They don't really, it's their pronunciation. Shikamo. See, our ancestors talk a certain way and spell a certain way, but they'll tell us Ebonics or ghetto. No, it's ownership. We speak and talk how we talk, whether you like it or not. You feel me? It's the same word as Shagamore or Sheikmore. Now let me prove it to you. Let me prove it to you. Let me go and prove it to you. Where is it at? Okay, here it is. Let's go back to the Moorish palace. So the Moorish, yeah, I read it over. I already debunked y'all, bro. I'll go back over it. Let's go back. Let's go back, man. I gotta do it again, y'all. Let me turn this air on because I'm getting hot, man. I gotta do it again, man. Dang, man. Yo, I gotta do it again. Let me go ahead and do it again. But everybody just seeing me do it. I'm something else. Man, I'm something else, man. So let's go back. So let me show you right here that y'all are not an empire of Morocco. I'm about to prove it. And y'all could have went on here and, been what y'all was going to be if they wouldn't have did that video talking about we ain't Moorish American. Now, the Sultan came and cleaned it up yesterday on my video when he said he don't care if we're Moorish American, be what we want to be. But they had already done the damage when they did the video telling us we ain't Americans. Yes, we are. Because y'all try to give Europeans the credit for everything. Hold on, come on, man. I don't even want to do this. But I'm going to go ahead and do this right here. Check this out. So here it is right here. Now, remember, I showed you they have the French zone. They also have the Spanish zone. You see that? So they're going to sit up here and say, when I point out the Spanish zone in Morocco, y'all see it right there. Hold on. The Spanish zone. They're going to say, oh, didn't Spain have control of Texas? Yes, in 1680, brother. 1680 all the way up to the 1800, they sold it to France. Then the Louisiana Purchase. It's over with in the 1800s, bro. It's no more French and Spanish zone. Oh, and they gonna try to come up with all other reasons for it to be the French and the Spanish. And then you already know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be like, okay, so y'all got the Spanish and the French zone, right? Because this is in their United States of Morocco. This is Morocco according to them. You got the Spanish zone and the French zone. Explain to me this right here. The Tangier zone. Why do y'all have a Tangier zone? And where is the Tangier zone? See it right here. The Tangier International Zone, centered in the city of Tangier, Morocco, existed from 1925 up until 1956. You understand me? So they have a Tangier zone, they have a Spanish zone, they have a French zone. So the Morocco Empire is the people bringing them over here according to their logic. According to their logic, they are the ones bringing these people over here. Now I'm going to show you in this same document. That's right, the empire had been dismantled and the Sultan doesn't belong to the original family of Sultan. Exactly. But I'm finna use two examples of how they're debunking themselves. I'm about to show you how they debunk themselves. First of all, they use the appellation Els and Beys, and Muslims don't use that. So they're using El and Bey. We know El is Canaanite. We know Bey is Turk, right? Don't we all agree? Why do they have Bey on their name if they are Arab Muslims? They are Arabs, bro, because they are sultans. The Sultan is the leader of Morocco. The Bey is the leader of Tripoli, right? This is two different leadership. They might be Moors, but it's two different government. They got the Bey, but they're not Turks. Why are they Beys? Why are they using Bey? Why are they using El if they're Muslims? Now let's go in here with this document and prove that they are a state. They are not an empire. I'm going to use this same document to prove that they are not an empire, bro. So I'm going to ask Junior Jackson right now before I go in here and prove it. Y'all was an empire during this time. Like, let me go and pull it up. Before I even go in here. At this time, y'all are an empire, right? So right here, this document, y'all are proving that y'all are an empire, right? That's all I need is one answer. Are y'all an empire or not during this time? Anybody, yes or no? That's all I need, because I'm going to do my research, man. Okay, he said facts. They are an empire, y'all. I'm about to prove, according to this document, that they are not. Watch this. Y'all are not an empire. So let's look up what an empire is first. What is an empire? Watch this. Look at this. An empire is a large political entity typically encompassing diverse territories and people ruled by a central authority, often an emperor or a empress. But they have the Sultan. It's a centralized control through one individual. We don't have that in America. We have different states. Now watch this. Watch how I'm about to prove that they are not an empire in this document. Y'all pay attention. Remember, they said that they are an empire. I'm about to show you that this whole document proves that they are not an empire, bro. And they have to still account for the Spanish, French, and the Tangier zone. Remember, they saying that they are the Morocco Empire. I'm saying, no, they're not. Remember, right here, it says the rights of the nationals of the United States of America and Morocco. They're trying to say that the United States is in Morocco. I'm saying, no, it's not. Morocco is a state. It is a state at this time, and it is not in America. It's in Africa. Let's prove it. Let's prove it. So Noble Drew Ali's nationality is Moorish American. Your nationality is Moorish American. Where is the Sultan at? The Sultan right here is in the ruler of Morocco. What is the modern name for the Moabites? Moroccans. See, the ancient name was Moabites. Right now, they're Moroccans. Where is the Moroccan Empire? See, the centralized government. Northwest of Mexum. What is the modern name for Mexum? Africa. They are from Africa. Now I got to use this document to prove that they're not an empire because they are Africans. They want to quote Noble Drew Ali, but they want to leave out the fact that they are from Africa. Now watch this. I'm going to use this same document to prove that they're a state and they are not an empire. Watch this, y'all. Here it is right here. Now, let's go here. You see, the second contention of the United States is based upon the geographical limited character of the renunciation of the consular jurisdiction by Great Britain. So watch this. Y'all got to pay attention or y'all going to miss out, bro, to prove that y'all are a state. Y'all are not an empire according to this document right here. It has been claimed on behalf of the United States that Great Britain retained its jurisdictional rights in the Spanish zone. See, they even have a Spanish zone. They are giving Europeans all these zones, bro. And it has been argued that the United States, which still treats Morocco as a single country. Bro, y'all are a single country. Y'all are not no empire with multiple countries. Bro, how an empire is vast territories, bro. Vast territories. Y'all are getting treated like a single country. That means they're not counting those other countries. They're basically saying them other countries are on their own. Morocco do not have control over them countries. The same country that y'all use to validate y'all peace treaty, the United States, they're sitting up here saying y'all ain't nothing but a single country. So how can you be an empire and a single country? Oh my goodness, man. I told you, man. I told y'all I was going to make it easy, bro. And that ain't even it, bro. You got the Bay. They're talking about their Bay. They're talking about their L's. L is Canaanite, bro. L is Canaanite. Bay is Turk, bro. Bay is not an Arab word. Their Sultan is an Arab, bro. Right now. But they're going to sit up here and say that's not the real Sultan, bro. Man, I'm funny, man. Let me stop, bro. Y'all are tripping, bro. Y'all, bro. Did you see how I just proved that y'all are a single country, not an empire, bro? Like, come on, bro. Y'all a single country according to that
What's up,
document.
man?
Shit, chilling, man. Just chilling. Same old.
Hey, my question to you is, so why isn't the United States of America located in Africa? If you getting your point across,
Yeah, they don't have
the
a zone,
states
bro.
be
Yeah.
having their flags in Africa.
Yeah, yeah, they don't have a zone over there. They just have preferred nation treatment when they bring their goods over there. They already have a peace treaty. They don't have a zone over there. They have something called favorable nation. They are a
So
most
let me.
favored nation. That's why they're suing.
That's right. That's right. So let me ask you this: if look up the International Conference of Algiers, 1906. I'm gonna show you something.
I don't know what happened to your volume, bro.
You're big, brother.
Your volume is crazy low. All right, it's better now.
You say it again.
Now your volume was low, man. I can hear you now though. Now you going in and out bad. You going
Oh,
in
it's
and
all
out
good.
bad. All right, that's a little better. I might want to come in and out. I'm talking about this staticky and everything.
Okay, what about now?
Yeah, it's much better.
That's better.
Yeah, way better.
I said the International Conference of Algiers, 1906.
All right, I'll do that. But let's first agree first. Agree or disagree. We gonna do that. I want to agree or disagree. And I have a guest that's asking me what is the crux of my argument. The crux of my argument is that they're using this document to justify that they're a Morocco empire, and right now we are in Morocco. I'm saying no, we ain't. So let's show her. I said no, we're not. Not that's over
Correct.
with. The Morocco empire is over.
They tell you that the United States is in Morocco. In Morocco. Look what it say. In Morocco. It don't say
So
ain't in
lucky,
Morocco. It say in Morocco. So the United States would be over there. If that was the case, the United States would be located in Morocco, North Africa. Now we
I
can use
agree.
common sense, right?
See, this is why I said I agree because the terminology is English. It's about jurisdiction and borders and ownership. What I'm saying is they're taking over and they're respelling things, creating new borders with our property, our intellectual properties. This is how they're stealing our stuff. This is the beginning of the theft. The Arabs in Britain is stealing our stuff. That's why they renamed it with the English wording, and we're catching on with our Creole wording, which means native. So the case of the rights of the nationals of the United States of America and Morocco, Lucky Lou, they're trying to tell us that this means that the United States of America is in Morocco. I'm saying no, it's not. So I went into this document and I showed several different zones. We are inside of America, Jesus Christ. Exactly. I agree. Okay, so what I did with this document, I'm talking about it is bad. It sounds like a robot. It sounds like a robot
My bad, my bad.
of Junior Jackson.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's it. I hear you. You said drop him till he
Okay.
get it better. I'm gonna
I want
bring
you.
him back in and hopefully. Yeah, it's bad. Just come back in. That's what all it takes is for you to come down and come back up sometime. Just try to come back up. So let me do this for Lucky Lou right quick. So what I did was since they said that we're Morocco is in America, I pointed out the French zone, and as we can see, you see this right here, the Spanish zone. It says it the Spanish zone. They are in the Spanish. Hold on, let's go. Where is it at? I'm finna let you up, whoever that was. See, you have the French zone. Then you have right there the Spanish zone. Then I went up there and proved that the United States view them as a single country. It says it right here. Look, as a single country. So they're not a empire. How could an empire be a single country? See, these are the questions they got to answer. They got the Tangier zone, the French zone, the Great Britain Spanish zone. Then they got this right here, a single country, the United States, which still treats Morocco as a single country. right? As a single country. Now y'all see this right here. Look, the Morocco state. I'm finna let y'all up right here. Now check this out. Look how devious they is. Look, it says it right here. Look, Morocco with one R. Y'all see that one R? Y'all see that one R? Noble Drew Ali is spelling it with two R's. Look at that. Two R's. See, it's about ownership of the word, and they're trying to trick us out of our inheritance because they're copying us. That's the copycat. They're using the copycat paperwork, not what Noble Drew Ali brought, the two R's. You feel what I'm saying? Where is the Moroccan Empire? Northwest of Maxim. Where is a Maxim? Africa. See, the kingdom and the manly patriarch is in Africa. The bloodline of the mothers is in America. The Moabites is from America. They went over there to set up kingdoms. I can show y'all where Noble Drew Ali break down how our people was given permission to build kingdoms over there. Okay, I got 3 people coming up here now. I got 3 of them. I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and have it though. I already proved my point. Y'all got it, bro. Break it down. I'll let all y'all up.
No, I just want to make a statement real fast. Peace, and love. You're doing a good job, bro. You're doing a good job. This is some good learning stuff for everybody, whether they agree with it or not. But what I want to say is that we have to realize that we wasn't born into none of this U.S. stuff. And it's an overlay of the land we call America. It's nothing but a clear overlay. Where the United States is that 10-mile radius in Washington, D.C. Okay?
I agree.
All that's nothing but paper. Okay? They ain't got nothing to do with, basically, us. That's the 10-mile radius. And what they did was put that clear, if you can imagine a clear piece of plastic paper over to America, and they drew up the lines and put in the different countries and states, and that's what it is. That's all it is. It's not the land.
I definitely agree with that. And anybody who accepts the terms is going to be assumed jurisdiction over. If you accept them
Correct.
too.
Yep. You accept the terms, regulations, and terms and conditions. You are one of them, and they will treat you as such.
Exactly.
You're underneath their jurisdiction. Period.
Hey,
So
Islam Moorish.
yeah,
Um, I just wanted to comment on this because you make some some very unique points. I just wanted to ask you if you are familiar with treaty law.
yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Okay,
it's the highest form
so
of
if
law of the land, next to the Supreme Court.
right, so if you know about treaty law, then you know about preemptory law. So in every constitution, they have a preemptory law in every constitution. Matter of fact, in every contract. And if you know the 4 elements of a contract, you know that the parties must be known. Now, when you made the statement about Morocco being a state, there's 2 Morocco states. One is the Kingdom of Morocco, which is in Africa, also known as a Kebalan. That state was recognized or has its independence recognized in 1956, right? But that also made Sidi Muhammad go and turn himself in. He acquiesced the sovereignty of the Sultan by France with the Treaty of Fez, right, which was dissolved also. And so I heard the brother mention the Act of Algeciras of 1906. It's a very important document to look at, and it clearly states the 12 signatory powers that came up under the Empire of Morocco. Okay, so the Empire of Morocco has been established way before it, way back in BC. I would advise everyone, if they want more knowledge, to go check out AMPAC study session. It's not something to divide our people. It's really to unite our people. And so the main part about this is our ancestors acquiesced a lot of things because we were not able to read, not able to decipher certain documents. We didn't have access. John D. Rockefeller over the years, all these things. We already know this. I appreciate you coming on here as far as just being able to go over and allowing us to come up and speak about these certain documents. But treaty is supreme law of the land. And when we read these statutory laws, or like if this is this right here is an ICJ document, right? But in order to have access to any type of treaties or to go to the ICJ, you have to be a state, and states are recognized as persons in international law. You can't go over there and say, me as an individual, I'm going to read the treaties to you. You don't have access to the Acta al Jazeera as an individual. You have to be a state. So when you are talking about the Empire of Morocco, yes, that is a single state with states in it, just like the United States of America is a single state with states in it, like California. Those are third-party states. So maybe you're talking to a public audience who doesn't have any type of knowledge on international law. Do you understand what I'm saying, brother?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. I trust me. I understand the rights of nationals, because when you travel abroad, that's when you applicate national status. When we're visiting
Right.
other countries, and let me show you exactly how to comprehend what this says right here. So this is how I know that we are at this moment. Hold on, where is it at? It's right here. This is how I know they are in Africa, because it says it right here. It says, case concerning the rights of nationals of the United States of America. These nationals are visiting a foreign land, and that is Morocco, French zone. The case is brought up by France to sue the United States. The United States countersued and
Brother,
said that they are a favorable nation. We are a
this
favorable
document,
nation.
brother, excuse me. This document
Yeah.
is trying to it's two parties. It's the French into it with the United States government, federal government, right? Internationally, they use the United States of America as a front. They have two constitutions. That right now, this document was to show that the ipso jure mores subjects of America, the second class citizens here in America, were not to be taxed by the United States government. That's what that document is, brother. It's not about somebody in a Kibalan, somebody in the Kingdom of Morocco. That was the problem with Moorish Americans. They're mixing church and state using the Kingdom of Morocco's flag, claiming to be American citizens or out of the American citizen jurisdiction. Us as ipso jure mores subjects, as so-called black people, we can never be American citizens, or because we fall up under the second-class citizen jurisdiction as we were naturalized through the Enemy Alien Acts, brother. So
Yeah, that's
when you're talking about these type of documents, you have to use forensics and go into it, and you also have to know the five phases of law, brother. You can't just say this document was here and there and there and there, and this is also on the United Nations website, to where you can go look at different judgments of the judges who took place and made a decision on this act. You can't look at one document and just put one document, hey, this is it. That's what's wrong with our people because we don't have forensics. And I'm not trying to point anyone out. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying our people are one and we are an empire. We were here. We are indigenous. Indigenous is we are Moroccans. That's who we are, bro. That's the parties must be known. But United States federal government has us listed. The Sultan signed these documents so we could be turned into so we could be naturalized. If you go
He
read the
contracted.
rights, yeah, if you go read the rights of protections in Morocco of 1880, Article 15, it says that we have to submit to the laws of the empire. We have our own laws that are superior over American law. We have Moroccan law. And I ain't talking about the Kingdom of Morocco. I have talked to Moroccans over there in the Kingdom of Morocco. They come here, they able to do business and they able to go back. There's no such thing as colorable law. Those laws to apply to second class citizens. And that's why we have holidays like adoption day, like June 19th or June 10th. You know what I'm saying? We have to literally learn how to not be combative with one another and learn how to be the competent party, brother. That's why I always say, if you want to, because man knows not being told, like the prophet Noble Drew Ali says. We have to go back to the source. And the source for me, my brother, because I was lost and I learned how to learn how to not be combative with with people. Like I see the only reason why I wanted to get tapped into it because I cannot allow to see Kanye Show Jermaine J. Bay get slandered on any type of platform because those are my senseis. You know what I'm saying? And brother, Noble Drew Ali, everybody who has participated in this, Malik El Shabazz, Martin Luther King, these people have put their life on the line to go against the heavy sword, to go against the heavy sword that these colonists are trying to put on our necks every day that we acquiesce. These brothers right here, they don't have to get on a public platform and put their reputations at risk to teach us some false information. That is crazy. That is slanderous. But one thing I know that people have these 501c3 temples, and they are literally mixing church and state. And if
We
we
should never
read the
be
United
501c3s.
Right,
Nope.
right, exactly, because
Never.
that's statutory law, but
Now
the
these
state is a corporation. And at the
right.
same time, organizations, if you read what an organization is, like they say, the United Nations is an organization, right? They have a charter, right? Okay, we know this. But if all the countries, and if countries are states, and if countries are people, why did they have a Vienna Convention on diplomatic immunities, right, in 1963 that also agreed that we shouldn't have church and state mixed? These people have diplomatic immunities. These people on the screen that you're showing right now have diplomatic immunities because they create a state. They resurface a state that was submerged called the Empire of Morocco that was covered up by the Kingdom of Morocco, right? That has sovereign power over all European states. If you go and read treaty laws like the treaties that I referenced, the Act of Algeciras of 1906, which is public law, because all these religions and all these other churches, they have private law, and with
now
private
now
law, you can't you can't really make a competent argument over any type of territory, brother. That's why we have to have constitutions which have us have access to treaties as states and persons, brother. It's called proper law, and we have to have the proper venue which give us the jurisdiction to make the competent claim over all this, which is exactly why the document that you're reading is which France and the United States are going through. It's not about the kingdom of Morocco or it's not about the United States being in the kingdom of Morocco. I yield. Thank you for your time, brother. Islam.
Now, I would like to just piggyback a little bit on that because I don't like to leave our people out in the, when we say, and I know that we should never have a 501c3, always follow the prophet. The prophet was always all, right and exact. You should have a 508, okay? 5088. That's what the prophet had. And people don't talk about that. So when you get into these places with this, they're nothing but churches. If it's a 501c3, you better start thinking again.
Yeah, I don't know any Moorish Americans that's 501c3. I know Noble Draw. We registered under the ILCS, 805 ILCS, which is a religious corporation. I don't think he filed.
It is a religious corporation, correct? It is.
There's nothing wrong with that. Even the Sultan is religion. So
right. No, but what I'm saying is, under like when we have you can open up your own temple, but it should be a 508. Look up the 5088. That's what I'm telling you. And he gave us what we need to do is right and exact. We just don't follow it. We have a tendency. Some of our people are doing their own things and basically giving a black eye to what the prophet has done. And just having him in bad words and things of that nature because of people doing the wrong thing. What he did is what the Catholic Church copied today.
right.
Okay. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. The Catholic Church copied the prophet.
Okay, so I want to just play this video right quick and show people why we're here today. So let's I don't know the name of this brother, but yeah, this is why we started doing our research on AMPAC, because like I say, whether we're a religious organization, whether we're US citizens, Americans, whatever, this is our journey and we're pleased with it. And however you guys get there, we got nothing but love for y'all. We just don't want anybody talking about us, telling us what we are, because we trust what the prophet instructed and we understand the gist of it. So let's just listen to this brother right here.
Okay.
Check this out.
In this case, it says the case concerning rights of nationals of the United States of America. Who are the nationals of America? That's the 13 colonies that now is turning to 50 plus colonies. It's Americans. Moors are not Americans. Noble Drali said we're descendants of Moroccans. That's pedigree. It's consanguinity. You can't change your bloodline. So what you're saying is you pledge allegiance. It's a political status of being naturalized as American. America is your stepmother who adopted you. And you don't want to bring yourself back to your mother, which is Morocco, the Empire of Morocco, through a Moroccan state. So the Moors are all being either lazy or complacent because you don't want to take the time to establish a Moroccan state.
So we heard the brother where he says that.
State.
So we heard the brother where he says that we are not Americans. So like I say, we're going off with what Drew Ali brought us versus what they're bringing us. So right here it says, what is his nationality? He was born in the state of Carolina. What is his nationality? Moorish American. See, y'all are quoting Noble Drew Ali, but leaving out key things. What is your nationality? Moorish American. Because why are we Moorish Americans? Because we are descendants of
born in America.
And born in American. So he's accepting that we have ceded or separated from this empire or this sultan. Now let's go to number 34. See, we had a revolution where we didn't want to pay taxes to them anymore, but they're trying to whitewash it as if these people were white, and we know they wasn't. What is the modern name? Oh, no. Where is the Moroccan Empire? Northwest of Mexico. What is the modern name for a Mexican?
Africa.
Africa. What is the title given to our ruler in Morocco?
Sultan.
Sultan. So what I'm showing you is the Moroccan Empire is in Africa. The leader is from Africa. And this is you're gonna have to convince us this is Africa now. You see, not just that the United Nations are in what we are saying. Hold on, I want to prove one more point before I go into this. Before I prove to this, because this is how I know they're using a certain language to trick us out of our ancient inheritance. So watch this. You just got to, if we're gonna quote the prophet, we gotta really know what we're doing. So now I asked y'all government, I said, what is y'all official language? Y'all said English, which is a colonist language. I asked y'all for y'all currency. Y'all are using US debt notes, which is a federal debt note. Y'all don't have gold or silver. I asked for the GNP, the gross national product, and y'all GDP. They had no answers. And y'all leaders said y'all still had to go to the ICJ to do other things. That means y'all are still in work. So yes, Morocco is an English word. Y'all are borrowing everything from English. Now, why am I bringing this up? Moroccan Empire. So y'all are claiming that we can't be American, which is colonists. Y'all are using colonist instruments, and y'all are from Africa. Now y'all got to prove that this place is Africa over here, and I don't think y'all can do that. You feel me? Because you can't take tidbits of what Noble Drew Ali brought and fix it to your bias confirmation. You got to sit up there and accept everything he brought. I got another guest trying to get up here. Shout out to Kevion Bay. Now let's go into the bread and butter. Let's go into the bread and butter. This is called Prophet Makes Plea to an. I don't know what the heck. You gotta put on mute. You got two sites running at the same time, Tay Tay. You gotta come out of one of those and only have one. I forgot what it's called right now, but anyway. One server. You need one server. You had two servers going. That's why I was echoing like that. So now the prophet plea to a nation. I want to use this document to prove, because I already showed you in his one-on-ones where he is an American citizen. So let's go. Let's start up here. I, the prophet, and hereby call and allow with the divine plea to all true American citizens. The prophet was pretty intelligent. He was a mastermind, by the way. To help me remove this great sin in which has committed and is being practiced by my people in the United States of America, because they know it is not true in divine way, and without understanding, they have fallen. Now, keep in mind, Noble Drew Ali is being accompanied by Allah. This is a job that's gonna take something more than just a physical feat. It's going to take spiritual and divine to wake these people up. It's going to take the greatest of all time. So he came with Allah. He's the prophet. So they're saying that we're just a church. We're not just a church. We are spiritual divination practitioners. There's always a certain spirituality because we know we're dealing with lower self persons. So our so-called church is a sacred grove for us to gather religiously, which exempt us from commercial aspects of adjudication. We are automatically exempt because we are in a sacred grove that you call a church, that we call a temple. But we are Americans. We are part and parcel with this said government, of the constitutional fold of government. And I'm going to prove it right here with this document. Now watch this. Our divine and national movement stands for the specific grand principles: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And I'm applying to loyal, faithful Moors, members, and the American citizens to help me in my great uplifting acts of uplifting fallen humanity among the Asiatic race and nation. For I have suffered much and severely in the past through misunderstanding of the movement was dedicated to, and what the movement was dedicated to. Okay, let's go. I know all true American citizens are identified by national descent. Names to answer and apply to the free national constitution of this free national republic of the United States of America. That's why I'm calling on all true national citizens to help me morally and financially in my great work I am doing to help this national government. So what is this national government that Noble Drew Ali is talking about, right? What is he actually talking about? And what did he name this actual government? That's what the Moroccans gonna have to specify, and it's right here in this document as well. So the Moorish Science Temple of America, right here, the Moorish Science Temple of America, and become part of this divine movement, then you have power to redeem your race. So in a nutshell, following the prophet's instruction is how you're going to get these blessings and get recognized, because it's already been discussed that these people are committing sin by calling themselves Negro, Blacks, and Colors. And that goes back to the 14th Amendment that the brother who was up here, Kevion Bay, was talking about. That is for second-class citizens called Negro, Blacks, and Colors. You're not going to need a 14th Amendment if you are in your proper persona, which is a Moor. You're going to have a national descent that's recognized. Black don't have that. Color don't have that. Afro don't have that, but a Moor do. So that's why we raised the red flag, to prove that we have a national descent. But we are taking claim up in this country as well. We're not abandoning our inhabitants of America, which we decided upon with a constitutional fold of government, not with the Sultan Commission. You see what I'm saying? The Sultan got his list of rules and Morocco laws. Then we have the constitutional Republic of America that's separated from this kingly monarchy or this emperor. Because in the empire, you have an emperor. The Sultan is the emperor. We dissolved that because we are not consolidating power to one man. All men is created equal and free, and we're not listening to one man no more. We're only listening to Allah, and that's why we push this right now at this moment in time. We're not a church. We're just sticking to the code because we know this is a spiritual divine mission to wake our people up. Now, by becoming a Moroccan, we're abandoning that mission, acting as if we are free and safe. No, we're not. We're not, because you know why? Our people are not. Because a nation is not one individual. A nation is many people, and that's why we're Moorish, because we are together. We're going to do this together, but y'all are doing this on your own. And if y'all want to quote Noble Drew Ali, he said you can try it your way, and your way won't work. Now we have to find what Noble Drew Ali said, do it y'all way. That's what we're going to have to find out, because he's recognizing Moorish Americans. He's recognizing the United States of America, the constitutional fold of government, American citizens, etc. He's recognizing this in his documentation. And he proved that the Empire of Morocco is in Africa. So these are the things that y'all are going to have to work on. And we can go back to the rights of the nationals. Like I said, to prove that y'all are a single state in that document. Y'all are not an empire, which is many territories and countries in one, right? So, like I say, I'm happy about what y'all doing, but we got something else going on. You know, we're on the spiritual task. We are exempt because we have a spiritual mission. We're not out here trying to rack up on commerce right now. We're not trying to rack up on material, earthly things. We have a spiritual divine mission like he do. Do we need money? Yeah, money is going to, you know, everything costs, but we're not trying to rack up on riches like the Sultan right now. But we got nothing but love for y'all. You see, but we are on something that he's on. And this is the type of stuff that you can't tear up. It'll tear you up. You know, just leave this mission alone. But I do believe one day we can be an empire again, as long as it's with the principles that Noble Drew Ali brought. Long as it's under the guise of the principles, the 5 principles. I like the idea of what y'all doing, but I just think there's certain things, far as the Morocco Empire, and y'all trying to say we're not Americans. So I'm gonna yield the flow right now. I'm gonna go and get this other document to prove that Moors can be Americans and United States citizens.
First of all, if you Moorish American, it states you are American on your card. So I don't know where they get "we're not American" from.
Yeah, but that's what I
crazy.
just played. Remember, I played the video of the AMPAC
Yeah,
brothers
yeah,
saying
yeah.
we're not American.
Right.
That's
That's new to me. I've been in this that's new. That's some new stuff. So like I said, if any Moors came up during the time I came into the fold, Yeah, it even states it on your car that you're Americans, So, and that's what we are. We are American citizens, American nationals, and of the United States of America. It's on there. You know, it doesn't state the U.S., which is a difference. You know, when you talk about the U.S., then that's a different. That's why I was trying to tell the people about the clear overlay that's across America. There's a big difference. You got to know the difference between and the spellings of citizens with a capital C and the citizens with a lowercase c. It's a big difference. This is all dealing with law, and even with the Constitution. A lot of people say this Constitution is the supreme law of the land. Well, it is, but what can supersede the Constitution? Contract. Contract is what makes law. So, when you talk about the Constitution and you make a contract with someone, now you're superseding that because that's what makes the law. If you want to contract with someone, now you're doing this contract and you guys are making up this new whatever you want to call it. And that's how you guys get all caught up, you know. Like you said, the brother said, Noble Drew Ali was right and exact. All you got to do is, man, I promise all you got to do is follow what he laid down for you.
All right, check
For
this
all.
out, brother. Check this out, then. So we're going to get this audio one time. We're going to get this soundbite one more time for the record. Check this out. Just for the record, this is why we're here. Other than that, we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
In this case, it says the case concerning rights of nationals of the United States of America. Who are the nationals of America? That's the 13 colonies, and that is turned into 50 plus colonies. It's Americans. Moors are not Americans.
So that's why we're here. Now let's go back to Noble Drew Ali nationality card. Let's do that. Let's go to the nationality card like their brother said. Moorish American nationality card. So he made a good point because like he said, it's on the card. I am a citizen of the USA, not the US. The USA, I am a citizen,
Right.
which is American. So that's what one of your leaders said. We didn't say that. We're following the prophet, and we feel some type of way because it's like they're trying to get us to go against Noble Drew Ali. But you agree
Right.
with me, brother. Nothing. So I'm not going at you.
Yeah,
But
I'm just saying, yeah. Look at the card. Follow Noble Drew Ali. If anybody have any doubts about anything, I promise you, if you get into what the prophet brought, then you don't even have to go to none of these guys. And that's our problem, following these people who are, putting you on a different a different road or something. But all you got to do is, man, dig deep into this knowledge and this reading of what the prophet laid down and follow. Man, it's just right and exact. Can't nobody come up against the prophet and what he brought. I promise you that.
Islam Morris. The prophet also stated that he will leave the European here long enough for us to learn government from them.
Yes, sir.
So when we understand what a citizen is and we understand what a subject is, right? Or a national is just a new term for a citizen, right? It's the modern term.
Wow.
Like I said, if you go and look up the 1930s, the 1963 Convention of Vienna, which was an international conference, and only parties that was a part of this conference were states. States means persons. If you look, it's the third line on this convention. It's public law. You can go look it up. You can go Google it. We can go look up the Charter of the United Nations, which started in 1995, which was also in Morocco, aka also known, i.e., America. San Francisco, where is the headquarters of the United Nations in New York, also Morocco. Our people have been colonized and we need to decolonize, right? So we are following the steps of the Europeans because think about it. If we look at that document of that started in 1952, 7 years after the United Nations had got started previously they were the League of Nations, right? This is public law. The only reason why they are mentioning the Act of Algeciras in the document that you were reading earlier, which was the rights of the United States nationals in Morocco, was because they had to follow treaty law. That preempts constitutions. It's the 5 phases of law we must know. You can't just run up. If we study case law, it's so many nationals that wants to be able to state. It's so many nationals all over the country that wants to pull this treaty and that treaty. But you have to understand, you have to be backed by a state. And just to reference that comment that you made earlier about the Sultan, the power being in one man's hands, that is not true, brother. The Sultan is an office. All these are offices. So these offices have been elected. They have not been self-appointed. They have time. If we read the Constitution, the Empire of Morocco has a Constitution that's been deposited and ratified in the United Nations, agreed upon by Moroccans. It's Moroccan law, not by ipso jure more subjects, which is so-called black people. We have to know our proper names. That's why we have Karens, we have so-called white people that laugh at us because we don't know law. Allah, it's all law. And we have to go back and claim our rights, our birthrights. We are Esau. We're not Jacob. So why would we admit to being second-class citizens? And if you have that document that you just showed right there, right, about the nationality card, that document, if it wasn't issued, that document will get you 3 to 5. Because I personally bought a nationality card, right?
Yeah.
And I submitted it. Boy, I got ignored. I have purchased packages.
I didn't go through that. I didn't go through all that. Not to cut you off.
Passed around in public.
Yeah, I didn't go through all of that. I got it, like I didn't go through the Taj Tariq Bey, RV Bey trying to correct status and all that. Like I didn't go through all that. And that's a problem. You feel me? Because the prophet clearly said your nationality card is for your salvation. Don't wave it and show it off to the Europeans. So a lot of people misinterpreted what Noble Drightly did for us, and they're trying to overthrow the government. Act 3 and Act 4 of the Moorish American Constitution, I think it's Act 4, it says we are not to overthrow the said government, but to obey hereby. Noble Drightly never said overthrow the government, and that's what they tried to do.
But what overthrows the government? Treaty laws, brother. It goes against every. Okay, do you know what a coup d'etat is?
No.
A coup d'etat is when a government is
overthrowing the government.
It's overthrowing a government, which has been done in Africa, aka Akibalan, over I think 62 times ever since the 1950s. All those states in Africa are baby states. All of them. They're not. We already know about what was that? The 1884 when all the Europeans got together and cut up all the lands in Africa.
Ain't none of that over there 100 years old. You probably got family members older than the stuff over there.
Right, brother, right.
I understand.
And then we got more pyramids over here. Man, all this stuff we know, right? I'm grateful for the knowledge that I got from the prophet. But we have to understand that we're in the age of Aquarius, brother. All that other stuff that was done, there's a reason why the Europeans made to where you couldn't mix church and state in international law, brother. Noble Drew Ali was rocking their heads. He was rocking their heads. They had to switch up their moves, man. Because see, we already know the sovereigns. We already
Exactly.
know that we are not just come on, brother. Why do we have the rights of indigenous people why do we have 1514 of 1960 the international document that got all those states in Africa to get decolonized? They got the C-24 of the United Nations. We got to know what we in, and we can't just say, "Oh, that white man is up against us." Oh, the United Nations is just a bunch of Jews that just want to get. Bro, we got to go read this legislation because it's being passed. It's not just getting put on the internet as public law, and they trying to bamboozle us.
No,
We
no.
sold out our people. We sold out our own people. So maybe you didn't go through that through the Moorish American effect like I did, brother. But
Right.
I was teaching that stuff to my kids, and I had to tell them, "Hey, bro, you know, smoke kills, man. It kills, and let the truth set you free." And the Most High God, Allah knows the truth, and it convicts my heart to really be like to even read all 13 Black Law dictionaries and be able to see how these people were confessing in these dictionaries. But you can't read by pronunciation. You have to know the 8 parts of speech. You have to know contracts. Right. We got colonized then too. Our people kept getting colonized, even by Arabs,
Right.
Arabs.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So just to say something, man knows not by being told, brother. We got to understand that we are great inventors, and we can't say. I wonder why they don't recognize Moorish Americans on the United Nations Charter, bro. I wonder why. Why hasn't a constitution, a Moorish American constitution, been deposited and ratified? We were getting sold out, man.
By our own people.
By
Now you
our
got to
own people who was
remember.
taking cash funds, documents telling us how to spiritually connect, and Miss Cleo take a phone call and all that stuff. And I say this, and I need to yield because I'm so passionate about this. But it was all our people, and it wasn't just the Moorish Americans. It was the Nation of Islam. It was all these people, man. Buddhist temples, SGI temples. I used to go to all this stuff, bro. Christianity. I love all our people, but our people are we are so quick to point the finger, but it's like midgets talking to midgets about, man, brother. We still on the NBA, man. Put an
brother
eye in front of the
Kevion.
slam, brother. Islam.
So let me make this
Kevin,
point right quick.
you guys remember when they was after the prophet?
Love,
though,
truth,
when he
peace,
was
freedom,
here,
and justice
right?
is our culture, brother. Huh?
Yeah. So you guys remember, and just to piggyback off of what
Say it
you were
again, brother.
saying,
I
it
didn't
was
hear you.
after the. Can you hear me? Am I all right? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so you remember? I don't know if you
Yeah.
noticed when they were after the prophet when he was alive. They chased him around a car trying to take him out. You know, this was during the time when he was alive, and during the time when actually the police back in the days kidnapped him and beat him up real bad. You know, but there was brothers after him. You know, after what he had built, our own people. You know, trying to take everything, and as soon as he, left us, his wife gave up a lot of his documents to some of the other Moors. You know, it just got split up all back then, especially when he left us. So it's a lot of stuff that people can research, especially when, like I said, his last days here with us, and it'll show you what was going on at that time and how it continued from there until this day. You know, it's different fashions.
But brother, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How long has Minister Louis Farrakhan been the head of the NOI?
Oh, for years. Soon after, right after Malcolm X. Am I correct?
There will never be that with the Sultan, brother, because the Sultan is an office.
Right.
We have voting policies that we must uphold.
Right.
Your date expires. That's the same thing. We learned that from government, from the Europeans. They learned from us. But what we did, we thought we praising the man instead of the mission.
Oh no. Yeah, no.
We
No,
can't do that. We have to
we
we
don't
have to get out of that bag of tricks, man.
right, no. I'm
That's
just
why you can't mix
giving you
church and state.
right. Just giving you a history of what was going on and what the people were trying to do and trying to take, and other fashions just been implemented during that time and that stage, that can take you off of the track that Noble Drew Ali laid down for us to follow, you know.
Right. But that's why Noble Drew Ali will be the last prophet in America,
Of-
bro.
In our days, yeah. That's right.
Because we in Morocco. That's why. We are in Morocco, brother. You don't have to. It's Dorothy, clip those heels, the triple principles,
Oh,
the
yeah.
triple principle, brother, which is sovereignty and independence, integrity of domain, and economic liberty without any inequality, brother. That's in the Treaty of Acta Algeciras, 1906, brother. This is
Let me tell
our
you, brother,
monopoly,
something.
bro.
Right. I've been through a lot, bro. And I've been in this for years. So what I'm saying is that I lost hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to follow behind people who I thought loved me, that call themselves Moors. And I don't want nobody else to go through what I went through. So I had to go through that fire, you know, because I caught on real fast after that, and I learned, like, because I came up through a temple. I'm from California, so I know, I came up through the temple. I know about Temple Number One in Chicago. I know about all of that stuff. So I'm just saying, you have to be wise and you have to take time. And I had to take that time man, I had to study everything. And it's a lot to study. It is a whole lot to study. So you're not going to know it all. But it took me a long time to get where I am today, especially in law. So I made law my number one thing to study, because I knew that would affected my people and me the most was law, ignorance of the law. And that's what affect us the most. And that's how they get us. So I had to get down and dig deep. And like I said, I went through the fire, been accosted several times, pulled over. I got videotapes and I got all of that stuff. But I knew, what I knew. When I knew it, I was onto something and it was all right and exact. I just didn't know how to implement it at the time. So as I went through that journey and through that journey of sometimes failure, like going through the fire, that's what I had to do. But I learned what was right and what was wrong. I learned with all. I have every book like you can imagine, from the Black's Law, you know, to the 1828 dictionary, to everything, everything you can imagine. But my thing, like I said, was law. But these two things go together. You can't have one without the other. That's law in history. You can't have one without the other, you know. And like I said, it's a beautiful thing. Once and like the prophet says, he's going to teach these Europeans, just mimic them. You're going to find out what's there, what's
Right.
true.
And bro, that's why I was going down to the Hall of Records. I'm like, man, yeah, because it's really this. For me, it's my peoples. My peoples will say, oh, you're not Moorish American, man, you black. Oh man, you not a Moroccan, you Moorish American. Oh man, we all one. What? Okay, wait a minute. What does the treaty say? Bro, we can have these debates in front of college students. And you know what they'll do? They'll write they'll write a book report on this stuff right now, right? And type it up and it'll be in some type of museum or something like that, right? But our peoples literally that are they'll go back after this important we're gonna go right back to our day-to-day lives, bro. Our people, we suffer from a lack of knowledge and we're still in belief mode. I wonder how many people are going to go back and listen to some of or read some of the references or even download the United Nations app on their phone. We got TikTok on our phone. We got the Quran on our phone. We got the Bible on our phone, the Circle 7 in our phone, or on our tables. This is great. Don't you feel if we know the law so much, why do we struggle with international law?
Well, first of all, you got to figure out this. There is no we, brother. And I had to learn this the hard way. Like I said, you must take care of home base. You must take care of I first. You know, there is no we. Because when you got to go to court, ain't no we right there with you.
Hey, brother.
When you
got a state, when that's not true, brother, because when you got a state, and that's why we need to get into statehood, there is a state behind me. I do not hire a bar. I don't hire a guy who looks at me like I don't know my have representation by me.
British Accommodation Registry. I know all of that.
You have to have diplomatic immunity before you
I have all of it.
The brother still got good questions. I love them questions, and I feel like
let me tell you something. Does any of you guys have a passport with 5 stars on it?
Why do you need a passport, brother?
Why do you need a passport? Do you have a state ID? Because I don't.
I have a state ID.
No, I don't know. I don't have state IDs.
That's what I mean by international law. Moors are going rogue. We're going rogue by this individual stuff.
I remember you told us that passport, brother. You got it going on, but guess I got other guests up here. Let me
that's right.
Right quick.
Okay.
I got 5 titles up here in Maisha, but wait a minute, 1 second. Before I go to them, I want to make this right quick. Check this out. I really wanted to address what Kevion had said because he got some good questions. So first of all, he said, why isn't Moorish American recognized by the UN? Check this out. Being recognized by the UN provides a country with international legitimacy, yes, a diplomatic platform, and access to various forms of assistance, including capacity building and humanitarian aid. We don't need humanitarian aid, and I want to make another point. What countries are not in the UN, but they are countries? Kosovo, Taiwan, Cyprus, Palestine. We know Palestine is a country. Just because they're not in the UN don't mean they're not a country. Abkhazia, Irish Republic, Transnistria, Ankila, Cayman Islands, Cook Islands. We know that's a country. Crimea, Murari, and Australia. These are recognized countries.
Can I ask you another question, brother? To speak about this topic?
I'll let you talk for a little while. I got you, brother. I got you. Let me finish. These are recognized countries that are not in the UN. We're not in the UN because we don't want their humanitarian aid. That's why we're not in the UN, and we're okay with that. We're going to do it how we want to do it. We don't need their aid. We need Allah's aid. And with that being said, your other question was, why don't people know international law? Well, guess what? You don't have a gross national product to take to another country in order to activate your international protections. We don't have a cotton like how we used to, corn like how we used to, hemp like how we used to, exporting it. Once you get a port of entry and you export, then we can talk about that. Like the brother said, don't say we. But anyway, I got 5 titles in here. Anything you disagree with or agree with, brother?
Well, brother, listen, I just wanted to speak up on the fact that you listed those countries. They still fall under the obligations of international law. If you want to be considered a state or a country,
they're not recognized by the UN, though. And there's like 20.
Right. I got that. I got that. But if you understand treaty law, like the Treaty of Montevideo, that states that you don't really that a country has the right to recognize themselves. So you're perfectly right, bro. You're perfectly right. What you're going. That's why treaties is supreme law of the land. It's not just the treaties that I'm naming. It's plenty of treaties that's been written out there, and the international the international, the United Nations are are they're like a HR department to uphold the treaties. So, like I said, sovereignty and independence. You don't need nobody to recognize you. That's why every country has its own Independence Day, right? Then you have integrity of domains that speak about that commerce that you was talking about. You have to have dominion over your land. That's the products that you're talking about. Then economic liberty without any inequality, that's why you have the United Nations, so you can be able to build that exchange, brother. So our people has to get back to statehood to know this, so we can vote for these things and not get bamboozled into thinking that and self-appointed people to uphold self-religion. Oh, I gotta go through this person to get, blessed. And I'm like, nah, bro, I don't need no favoritism. You see how you was reading about the most favorite nations clause in that previous document, bro?
Somebody got feedback. Please mute up so we can hear the brother.
How you was talking about the most favorite nations clause in that document about the United Nations, the United States nationals in Morocco. They were talking about the most favored nations clause because the Treaty of Fez gave the power of the pen to France. And I love how the sister in the comments made how the matriarch runs the pen, right? It says, let's not forget that the matriarch controls the pen. Here in the Empire of Morocco, we have nothing but matriarchs that makes the law, bro. So we have to get back to that. It's a patriarch world out here, and now we have all this stuff to where it's homophobic. Come on, bro. All this is not acceptable in nature. So we have to get back to controlling our borders here in so-called America, the Empire of Morocco, because the European, the 12 constituent powers, they know who are the leaders of this land. They know who the indigenous people are of this land. That's why we have rights of indigenous people, which Barack Obama he has signed and put into legislation for us, bro. But it's crazy how no other president is going to pass this, bro, for us, because we are in a state of emergency as far as our status here in America, in Morocco. See, I'm still trying to get it out of my mind right now. We so colonized to where we worried about the NBA, the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the dude, what's his name, Ice Cube, who got his own league. We got to get back to that, but we don't have to sit around here and act like we got to be bootlegging stuff to make it all cool, bro. We gotta go through the proper parties to make this stuff lawful and legal. You know what I'm saying? Because if I can go to the DMV and get my Moroccan license, that don't mean I'm trying to stop somebody from getting their American license. That's why we got the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, bro. Two parties that came together and created a document, brother. You know what I'm saying? That was signed. Ain't nobody bad. I'm not bashing America. America is beautiful, but it's in Morocco.
Do y'all other guests want to chime in? Maisha and Five Titles. I don't know if they're here.
What's up? I seen
Yeah,
a.
I'm here.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, matriarch.
I know that we all should know this by now that America was not created for the so-called black man. Like, I don't understand, and I can understand why, because Noble Drew Ali said we were Moorish Americans. But I also can understand too that with the information he was able to obtain then, now the information we're able to obtain is way more higher level. And as human beings, we are supposed to evolve and take research. We need to if it's not folks here is long. from them. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're learning. When you go to court, most of the time, especially for the men, if you get in a domestic violence case, if the woman doesn't pursue the case, what do the police say? The state picked up the charges. So we got to understand politics and how they really playing the game that they playing. You can throw socials, yeah, you can throw IDs, yeah, that's cool. You can pretend like you're invisible, but they still got you documented because the matriarchs, the first people that they had us signing birth certificates and stole our birthright for turning our boys over to the United States of America, which is a corporation that is residing on our stolen land. You need to tell me that our stolen land is named after the colonists, the ones that named it? No, we didn't name it America. We didn't name it that. Just like Africa. Africa wasn't named Africa. It was a Kiba line. And before that, it was a different name. Just like we was Canaanites, Moabites, and became what we became. Over time, we evolved. So we bringing back the original order. Let's not slander one another. Let's not say, oh, they lying. They not telling the truth. They copy. We are not copycats of no one because we are all learning from the same prophets. First and foremost, and we don't claim to be Moorish Americans. I don't want nothing to do with America. America don't want my type of people sitting at our table. They made it very clear. So why do we continue to put that title on our to sit at the table with these people that can our own table? And I yield with that.
Islam to you. I got 5 titles, and you can chime in on, bro.
All right. First and foremost, peace to you, noble. Peace to the Moors. Peace to the gods and goddesses. We in the building. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I love the fact that at least we are the few of many of our people that are not fucked up and confused to know at least have enough sense to know that we are Moors, regardless if that hey we're saying hey we Moroccan, we not this, we Moorish American, we not that, or whatever the case may be. We have at least enough sense to know that we're Moors at the end of the day. That don't matter. We know what's going on. Unlike our other, brothers and sisters that are still lost in the sauce, talking about claiming to be Indians and shit, when we know that's a fucking misnomer, and this ain't India. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, let me see who's that. No, you ain't no more. Yeah, that part. I hear you. PNF Noble. Is it
Hey,
possible?
block him. Block. No, you ain't. Block Devon Lane. Moderator.
Yeah, he mad about it. He said they were invaders. It's like you don't even know what you're talking about, bro. You sleep. You sleep or you're an op. Either or you're in opposition to me for even making that comment because you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. So say less. Anyway, so these motherfuckers can't even read. But hey, PNF Noble, is it possible I can get your big screen to present a little information to put some stuff into context to make it make sense? All right, I appreciate that, Noble. All right, so I'm gonna show you something real quick. All right, so we already know what this is, right? So this is the Negro Law of South Carolina, right? Chapter 1, right? The status of the Negro, his rights and disabilities, right? So I'm gonna scroll down to section 4, and I already have it highlighted, right? Let's look at something really quick. It says, it says, okay, the term Negro, right, is confined to slave Africans, and they're specifying, right? The ancient, we know we're ancient people, the ancient Berbers, right? It says, and their descendants. It does not embrace the free inhabitants of Africa, such as the Egyptians, Moors, or the Negro Asiatics, such as the Lascars. Now, we already know that. The thing about it is that they're specifying that the word Negro is confined to slave Africans, the ancient Berbers. We know we are the ancient Berbers when you talk about an ancient thing, right? So let's look at something else as well. And I'm gonna walk through some basic stuff because it's like, hey, let's look at this too now. Let's just affirm something. Let me bring this up. I should have had this one up already. Let me see. Give me a second. Let's go right here, which we already know this stuff basically, and I know the people that's watching, you know what I'm saying, for content purposes, so they can also see, because I know people are watching this stuff that probably don't know and trying to figure it out, right? So we're gonna go again. We're gonna go to the etymology. Us Moors all know about etymology. I know we do, right? So we already know what this is, and we're just gonna walk through stuff just to remember what's going on. We're the ones they call Negro, right? And the cool thing about it was, when you look at this, and we already know when they start using it, that's new. The word Negro was used to slave the ancient Berbers, right? Now watch this. Let's slide down here, right? And we know, and this is what people don't pay attention to. They barely start using it in the middle of the 1500s. And who did it? We put who on? We put them on. And they came over here to enslave us. That's why they're using them and them, right? To slave the ancient Berbers. And then they specify only one people. They specified, meaning who? African American. Vernacular English language as spoken by U.S. Blacks from 1704. French and agree is a 16th century borrowing from Spanish. Colonists. Negro, older English words were Moor and Blackamoor, etc., etc. So we know we the Moors, the ancient Berbers. Now watch this. We already know that, right? Now let's go over here. So now let's go look at this. Let's look at the word American really quickly. So now we are over here. So let's put all this into context and think about what's going on. It says American Dictionary of the English Language. This is the 1828 Webster's Dictionary, right? So now let's just look at the word. I already have it brought up on here, right? Of American, what an American is, right? What it is as an adjective. Let's look at it as a noun. American. Now, a native of America originally applied to the Aboriginals. They already said we're Aboriginals here. They said, or copper colored races found here by the Europeans, right? Found here by the Europeans, but now applied to the descendants of Europeans born in America. They're not the true Americans. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Because the word America, the word Morocco is actually the word American. And that's what we're going to break down. Watch this. Let me see. So now let's go down to this. Let's look at what the ancient Berber word for it says, what is the ancient Berber? Now, mind you, we the ancient Berbers, right? We just went through that. We all know we're the ancient Berbers, right? Not the new school shit. The ancient Berbers. So since that's the case, we're going to go back to our fucking shit. Let's go back. What is the ancient Berber word for Morocco, right? Okay, boom. Let's not even worry about this part. Let's scroll down even further because this talks about this. But look, and we see the word already, amur, right? Watch this. Let's scroll down here. Let's see. Wait, is that the right one I'm looking for? Hold on. All right. Yeah, that'll work. We can use that one. That's fair enough. Wait, let's see.
Let's say Berber word for America. I mean, there you go, right there. Short for
I know.
America.
I was looking for another source, but we could use this one too. The ancient Berber name for Morocco. The ancient Berber name for Morocco. And it's not, we have to trace back the shit and what's going on, right? The ancient Berber name for Morocco is derived from Amr and Anaku. And they have it spelled another way right here. This is the one I'm looking for. This term is the root of what? Of the shortened form Amaru. The word Amur, just like, and it's the ancient Berber name for Morocco. So actually, when you say America, this word is basically in there. You're saying the same thing, basically.
But it's the ancient version, brother. It's ancient. So we're claiming the ancient, right? Not the modern. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Now watch this, right? So what I'm saying is though, so this is why that's why I'm like, man, us as Moors are too fucking sharp for bullshit. And everybody that's up here right now, all the Moors in here right now, and I know it's been a lot of confusion. Like, we not Moroccan, and they like, we not American. It's like we got to figure this shit out. We got to figure this shit out. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's why I went through that. Who are they talking about? The ancient Berbers. So let's go back to our ancient shit. Then that way nobody can. That's why the cold thing about it is that that's why when you go and you look at the 1828, it said it originally applied to the copper colored races because we was already here. Originally, it already goes with us because this means us because we are the ancient Berbers and they know that. And that's why as soon as you go to look at the word Negro in the etymology, you know how people, they say that it's black people all over the world. So if that's the case, the word Negro means black in English, right? So when you go right here and you put the word Negro in here, why is it that when you put the word Negro or Negro in here, it specifically talks about a specific group of people? Why? I'm going to tell you why. They specifically talk about these people because we're the progenitors of every fucking people on the plane of thought. And that's also documented in House Resolution 1203 of Georgia. And for those that doubt that's in here, they doubt that that's true. Let's just go to it since I'm talking about it. We're gonna walk this shit out because that's crazy work. So let's go over here.
I read that. Yep.
Let's go over here. House Resolution, right? HR 12, right? 03. What does it say? Let's go over here in Georgia. This is not our words. We just read. What does it say? And we know this is just a resolution. It's not the law, but they're putting a proclamation out there to make us aware of certain things, right? Proclaiming out to the public. Hey, it's a public announcement. We're letting you know. What does it say? Now let's look at the following. Let's highlight this part. This is the part that people don't like when we tell them, like, hey, bro, we're your daddy and your mama, because we're the progenitors of every fucking nation here. Whereas the Moorish Americans, right, whether people debate this or not or whatever, at the end of the day, we are in fact the Americans. And the word Morocco is basically intertwined in here. It says whose ancient forefathers, right, are the mothers and the fathers of the human family. What? So all humans up here is the human family. We're the progenitors of all y'all. I didn't say that. They did. And that's, again, when you go back right here, why you don't have no other people up in here labeled as, when they say Negro, who the Negros are. They specifically talk about this group right here. I'm just saying though. So with that being said, let me show you one more thing, right? Check this out. So I asked, is Morocco a French word? And the cold thing is like, they're saying, no, it's not, but it actually, the word Morocco does mean it's a French word. So look, watch this, what it says. No, Morocco is not a French word, period. Watch this though. It says it is the English name. They send us the English name for the country. In French, the country's name is Morocco. So Morocco. So it's basically saying it is a French word, but it's not at the same time. And then they go into the other history of the stuff like Mary Catch, and we know about that. However, I'm showing you that the word America is more close to saying what our shit originally is, opposed to saying Morocco, which also the word Morocco is also in the word America via its ancient Berber language translation to the word Morocco today. So with that, I yield the floor. And I appreciate the nobles on the panel for pulling up. And I love what the fuck we doing, because we've been going through the fire getting attacked by these people. So I yield.
Man, salute to you. And that was my point for the one AMPAC brother who said we're not Americans. And I kept showing them that the ancient rendition is Emaruk, and the Creole word as well as Amérique. Right? So we are using the ancient mother tongue, and they want to change it up so they can get some type of ownership or jurisdiction with this new English word. And that's all I'm trying to make plain to our AMPAC brothers. Like, we're not abandoning our ancient connection. The Morocco is an English rendering of a Spanish rendering. So, like the brother said, it's pretty much the same, but it's about ownership based off dialect. So, hopefully we can get through this. I like the way he broke that down, man. You the
Hey,
truth.
brother, can I show you something also, bro?
You the truth. Yeah,
Good.
Can you share your screen with me, bro? So I can show you something, brother. That's
All
very,
right, who is
very
that? Who is that? Who is saying that? Let me
Kavion.
okay. Okay.
I don't know. How do I take? Oh, okay, there we go. Let me turn it around for sure. I don't
You
know if can you
gotta
see
press
that, brother?
save. You gotta press save, I think, on your
Okay,
thing.
okay, for
There
sure.
it is.
Thank you, brother. I'm
Yeah.
new on this TikTok thing. All right. So you see this? It says rights of protections in Morocco, July 3rd, 1880. All right. I'm not too familiar, but when was the prophet born? Noble Drew Ali.
1886.
1886. So this was 6 years before the prophet was born. Okay. All right. Now we all should know that the Kingdom of Morocco was established in 1950. It was independence was recognized in
1956. 1956.
1956, right? So this is 1880. Okay, my point is, it says any subject of Morocco who has been naturalized in a foreign country and who shall return to Morocco shall have remained for the length of time equal to that which shall be regularly necessary for him to obtain such naturalization, should choose entire submission to the laws of the empire. So that proves that there was an empire and not a kingdom in 1880. And this is a treaty too. And the obligations to quit Morocco unless he shall prove that his naturalization in a foreign country was obtained with the consent of the government of Morocco. So This is why I said that the Treaty of Fez, which was dissolved, and the Treaty of Fez came out in 1912.
Yeah.
It was dissolved, and then then they came out with the League of Nations. France had the pen, the power of the pen. The Sultan gave France the power of the pen with the Treaty of Fez. My point was saying is that the Empire of Morocco was there way before the Kingdom of Morocco.
Definitely, definitely. So this is the problem. And why we had in the revolutionary WAR, this is why we ousted the kingdom. Because when you're dealing with an empire, you're dealing with an emperor, a sole leader, or an empress. So we have a free national constitution where all men have to step up and prove himself versus being told what to do. Because no man can be told. Nothing, man knows nothing about being told. So what we are doing is taking our place in the affairs of men via what Noble Drew Ali told us. We don't have an emperor no more. You got to be your own emperor, basically.
But brother, the Sultan is an office. It's not one
No, 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 no,
person.
no. I hear you, but the empire is ruled by an emperor, and maybe the sultan is the emperor. Maybe that's the title, but an empire is ruled by an emperor. So
Brother,
now we are various states within a constitutional republic with governors and or a presiding official over the whole corporation or the whole government. See, we are from our territory we're born in, so you got to lead from that aspect. We united on the banking commercial side, but before then we was a constitutional republic who all had seating members in the Articles of Confederation. So now we are United States or whatever, or this democracy. That's
what
one second,
state?
one
Google
second,
this.
one second.
Who
But that's de
recognized?
facto is de facto. So we're going back to our personal ownership. I agree. We're not going to let the government rule over us. But let me just finish this off. The reason why the government had this presumable jurisdiction is because we forgot who we were. We thought we were NBCs, brother. Now
Who
that we're not
gave them rights
NBCs,
to naturalize us in a foreign country, brother?
right? But that's NBCs, not Moors. They're 14th citizens, 14th Amendment citizens. Is NBCs. We are not none of those things, so we automatically uplift our status. You see what I'm saying? Now we got to go back and get the land so we can have a gross national product to trade with anybody. We don't got nothing, man. That's why we
Brother,
ain't exercising international rights, because we don't got nothing.
we do
Now
got
we,
something, brother. We got the government of Morocco. That's why I'm telling you something. A document that was
I mean, what I
that was
mean is the
passed.
product. I meant the product. Like what we got hip hop. We do got that. We got rap.
Br-
What is we exporting is what I'm saying to even
Brother,
be
my
international.
my point is that you have the triple principle. You have to understand treaty law. We can't just go about the
I
Constitution. We
feel
keep
you. I feel you.
even us as Moorish Americans, we keep showing the United States Constitution when they have two constitutions.
Well, let me simplify before I let the other guest say something. When we travel, what is we traveling to other places for? What is we traveling for? Why are we going to other countries to do what? Exchange commerce, right? That's the only reason they gonna even want to see us. When they see us popping up, we got the goods. So that's when we gonna inactivate these rights. I mean, this we're gonna activate this international law you talking about. But it's good to know it. I'm not gonna lie, you are correct. We need to know it. But we got to worry about home and cultivation. Anyway, nothing but love for what you're doing. You're not saying nothing wrong at all, brother. You know what I'm
Well, my
saying?
brother,
Hey,
We got Yeah, go ahead. Finish your demonstration, brother, so we can
I,
let these other people
real quick. Can I chime in real quick?
yo.
Real quick. So the noble that's on there, I was gonna say, really quick, while you giving your presentation on what you're giving, noble, you think I could switch places with you real quick to show you something, really quick, and I'm gonna give you the screen right back if that's all right.
I
With the noble that's in there, Kevion, is that okay?
yeah, for sure, brother.
Okay, all right, all right. Let me show you. Let me show you something else, right? So check this out. So I know that our Moorish brothers and sisters are creating a state. So I also know we know about the Treaty of Madrid, like you just showed. So what I did on a personal note is I said, let me do some homework because I know they talking about going, chopping it up at the ICJ and attempting to get a seat and regulate and do what they need to do to get shit cracking. I know this, so I did a little homework to see. I'm like, damn, is that valid? So I did some homework on it. So the treaty, and I put it, and I had went on a live stream about it. I asked the question. I said, is the Treaty of Madrid, Article 15 for Morocco, still valid? And this was what it said. No, Article 15 of the
Right.
Treaty of Madrid, 1880, is no longer considered valid for Morocco. It says, while the treaty initially addressed the issue of naturalization and nationality for foreigners in Morocco, it says the United States in particular has since relinquished its rights under the treaty with Morocco's independence in 1956. Now, this is the cold part about this. So if this is no longer valid, then it said you can't use this. Now, they were talking, it was some Moors that came in there and said, no, we're actually going to get them to basically to recognize it a certain way, right? So I was like, okay, well, whatever y'all doing, Mose, because that's what's up. I'm just informing y'all so you don't pull up to the ICJ and they be like, man, these motherfuckers don't even know what the hell they talking about. They trying to use a treaty that's not even in use no more. So I don't know. I was just putting that out there
No,
like probably
no,
about a week or so ago,
I thank
right?
you for that, and I
That,
thank you for
but
that,
with
brother.
it being said, when it says that the United States relinquished jurisdiction in Morocco, the cold thing about it is how did they relinquish jurisdiction? Because this was the fucked up thing. Because I looked at it, I said, this is crazy. All they did was, mind you, we had an empire. We all know that, right? A lot of people that don't know that are people saying there was no empires. Like, you can't talk to me. You're silly. You're incompetent. Don't talk to me, right? So all they did was they ostracized our empire across the water to a little bitty kingdom, and now we don't have a empire no more. And they gave up all that land, and now they have a kingdom ostracized from an empire to a kingdom. And this was the relinquishment because it's like United States is not over there; it's over here. Okay, we're gonna relinquish the jurisdiction, and you can just take up the empire. That's just something just to think about. They all they did because they moved the goalpost. Okay, this is not considered Morocco no more or the Sharifian
Can I
Empire.
speak?
Let's move the goalposts. So that's all I was gonna say. I don't know if you was aware of that, but I did bring it to on a live, and one of the Moors popped up from AMPAC, if I'm not mistaken, he was from AMPAC,
Can,
and he addressed and said
can
that
I
no,
elaborate
we're
on it?
actually working on this to make this, something. So with that said, I yield, Mo.
Yeah,
Can I elaborate on it?
yeah, you can, but I got other guests that I want to see if they want to chime in first. That was before you. Any other guests want to, break something down, agree or disagree? Anybody else?
Uh, Peace to
Moorish
I
peace
wanna
to
I
Master,
wanna elaborate
go
on
ahead.
what Brother Five Title was just saying.
Go ahead.
Okay, the last Sultan, the reason why America made that move because the last Sultan in 1956, he stepped down to be a king. That's why the kingdom went over there. You feel me? Because he stepped down from the empire to be king because I think he was into a debt, and then they didn't want to agree with the 12 signatory powers, if I'm not mistaken. And but check this out. If you wanna get some more receipts on this situation and know that they talking about this land, look at International Conference of Algeciras 1906. Look at read 105. Someone put it up on your big screen, five titles. If you don't mind, good brother. Can you hear me, five titles?
Say that again. What'd you say, Mo? I was multitasking. What did you say?
I said, since you on the big screen, could you pull up the International Conference of Algeciras and read Provision 105 if you don't mind? And this gonna clear up a lot of questions.
The international. Say it again, Mo. International what?
the Act of
International
Algiers of
Conference.
Okay.
1906.
Oh, that one. Okay. Okay. Boom.
Could you go to 105 and read that?
Let's see.
And this should clarify a lot of things.
Let's
What's
see,
going on,
man.
family?
Boom. Let's go. Let's see. Let me see. Okay. Okay. Let me see. This shit right here.
Could you pull it on the screen for the people? Okay.
So you talking about right here? Let me see.
Right there, that
Do it
first
pull?
one.
Does it
Yeah,
pull?
yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Yep.
Go to that one. And when you're done with that, read chapter 18. I mean, yeah.
And he wants you to scroll
After
down
you
to
finish with
105 too.
105.
Yeah.
Now this is something for you to elaborate on, guys. Go to 105, and this shows you who is superior during all this time.
Right
All
there.
Okay.
right.
All right. Let's do this. Here we go. It says so. Chapter 6, a declaration related to public services and public works.
Mm.
Article 105, with a view to assuring the application of the principle of economic liberty, freedom without any inequality. The
Those the
signatory
principles.
powers declare that none of the public services of the Sharifian Empire, right, can be alienated for the advantage of private interests. This is what you
See?
talking about? Just this section right here, or
Yeah,
it's
just
further?
read
You want to
that
go
now.
further?
Now check this out. Read this. Now go
Mo,
back up. Okay, now read Article 18 of
I don't know
this.
if y'all
And
can
this
hear me.
I said read Article 18 of this now. Now go to Article 18.
Damn, I
You
don't know if y'all
clear?
can hear me because I can't hear y'all. They've
No,
been
you
my
clear.
I think they've been
Can you
fucking with
hear?
my TikTok account because I can't hear y'all, and it was tweaking last night too. So
Can
I
you hear
can't
me?
hear
Can
y'all.
you hear
I'll
me?
read it again though. I don't know if y'all can hear. It's frozen. Yeah, I see the comment, Moorish. That's crazy work. Let me see.
Hello, can you hear me? Five titles.
I think he went down. He gonna come back up. Like,
Okay.
Yeah, it looked like he lost his signal or something.
Well,
He lost his signal. Oh no, this might be him right here. Let me see.
Yeah, hey, like I said, I don't know what they've been doing with TikTok lately, and they was my shit was tweaking last night too. It's crazy work. So,
hey, host, could you go to that same thing, or you can give him back the big screen? We just here for to learn each other something to teach you, to move forward. Okay, now could you look at Article 18 of that same thing, and this gonna clear up all the questioning.
I got you.
Article 18,
Would y'all like me to recap that, or we good?
no, we good.
Okay,
we
all right,
good.
let's go. All right, so, all right, let's go back up here. Hold on, bear with me really quick.
You could start at 16 if you like.
Let's see. All right, right. Let's go then.
Boom. Okay.
All right, Article 16, the importation of sporting and high-priced arms. Oh, that part. Parts of guns, cartridges, loaded and unloaded, is likewise forbidden. It may nonetheless be authorized. One, for the strictly personal requirements of the importer. Two, for supplying the gun shops authorized by Article 18. Okay. Article 17, sporting and high-priced arms and the ammunition for the same will be admitted for strictly personal requirements of the importer on presentation of a permission issued by the representative of the magazine and at Tangier. If the importer is a foreigner, this permission will only be granted at the request of his legation, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
with respect to ammunition for sporting purposes, each permit shall allow a maximum of 1,000 cartridges or the supplies necessary for the manufacture of 1,000 cartridges. The permit shall only be issued to those who have never been sentenced for any offense. So you can't be a criminal. Okay. Article 18, the trade in sporting and high-priced arms not rifled of foreign manufacture, as well as of the ammunition appertaining to the same, shall be regulated as soon as circumstances permit by the Sharifian decision, the empire, made in conformity with the advice of a majority of the diplomatic body at Tangier. This shall be the case as well. The decisions intended to suspend or restrict the exercise of such
Hey,
trade.
baby.
All right. Only such
So,
persons as
okay, keep
go
reading,
ahead,
keep
Mo.
reading,
Go ahead. Okay. Only such persons as have secured a
keep
special
reading,
and
keep reading.
temporary license from the Moorish government shall be allowed to open and operate retail shops for the sale of sporting goods and ammunition. This license shall only be given at the written request of the applicant endorsed by his legation. Regulations drawn up in the manner indicated by the first paragraph of this article shall determine the number of such retail shops which may be opened at Tangier, and if occasion arises in the ports that may be later designated, they shall fix the formalities to be imposed on the importation of explosive intended for industry and public works, of arms and ammunition intended to supply such shops, as well as maximum quantity of stock that can be kept. In
Keep reading,
case,
keep reading, keep going. Don't
in
stop.
case of the violation of the regulating ordinances, the license may be temporarily or permanently withdrawn without prejudice to other penalties incurred by the offenders. I'm going to
You
go
can keep
again. Go
reading,
in.
keep reading. It get
Okay.
better.
It
It keeps
says,
better.
Article 19, every introduction of or attempt to introduce the prohibited merchandise shall make it liable to confiscation, and further to the punishments and fines mentioned below, which shall be pronounced by the competent jurisdiction. Competent.
Okay, stop right
Article,
there. Stop right there. So who is the competent jurisdiction in this situation?
the Moorish government, it stated the Moorish government.
You hear me? The
The,
Moorish
right.
Empire, right?
The Moorish
That's
government.
right. So we are giving them permission to bring guns and arms here and explosives. So how can this not be the land when the readings and the writing is on the wall is here for us all to understand that we was the superior to the contracts. It
You're
shouldn't be an
absolutely right.
argument
That's a
after this
fact.
right here, shouldn't it? When we can all
That,
read.
that's a fact.
This
The
clear
thing about
up
it,
all.
you hear me, Junior? So
Yes, sir. Continue, good
also,
brother.
okay, so and that being said, the thing about it, what's messed up is that the situation we're in right now because of what happened back in the day, and we putting all the pieces back together. That's why it's like, again, I give all y'all credit and high honors that's on here right now, because the majority of our peoples is still fucked up, and what they don't understand is that I stress this because I've been having it out with them. Like, I don't got time for that, because our people being slaughtered in the streets. They being slaughtered for stupid stuff, and they don't know they're part of this whole matrix with this whole, oh man, they think that, you got some pushing this black narrative, you got the ones pushing this Indian narrative. This shit is crazy. So again, I give y'all the most high honors, and they think that because they're claiming this Indian title that's something. It's like, no, that was just another ploy set up for the Moors. So if you ever did become conscious that you were indigenous to this land, we we got another setup for them to trap their ass up. And they're going to take this Indian title on because it looks like it is what it is. But in actuality, that's nothing but a slave term. For those who don't know, look at the South Carolina slave laws of 1740, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I yield the floor, Mo.
Islam.
Correct.
I would definitely.
So I got a question. I got a question to the brothers in the panel. I got a question real quick. Just one question. Shouldn't everyone stop arguing, and everyone's agenda should be is how do we get back to the Sharif government?
No, I don't think
Because it
we
sounds like that what we
arguing.
supposed to be.
Our stance is
Big
Moorish
facts.
Americans. As Moorish
Article
Americans,
15,
our
Treaty of
stance.
Madrid.
Yeah, brother. Look, our stance as Moorish Americans is absolute. We already have our divine mission, like I told you earlier in the video. Anyway, I got another guest up here, Sheikh Heed. I try to get everybody their time to chime in, man. I don't want to just have people up here wait, man. Do you got anything to add, disagree, or agree with Sheikh Heed?
Absolutely. So again, just to piggyback on what you just mentioned. Again, peace to the panel. Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam, wa rahmatullah, barakatuh. So when we go to our moral argument and then our legal argument. So right now, when we go to our legal argument, we know that treaties are supreme law of the land. So we just going to talk treaty talk, no feelings, no emotions. treaty talk. So on treaty talk it says a treaty is by two people, two signatories. So there has to be two different parties. So you got the Moroccans and you have the Americans. The brother earlier read the definition of from the Webster dictionary, said that one was applied to the Aboriginals, but now applied to the descendants of Europeans, because Webster was aware of a treaty agreement that has two different parties on there, right? So the Moroccans recognized the Americans to be here in 1776, actually officially recognized in 1787, 89, around there. But when we keep calling ourselves Moorish American, the people are named after the land is named after the people. There's no land called Moorish America. And we also got to understand that America is a continent. It's not a country. So when we say, oh, I'm American, the person who's in South America or Central America can say the same thing. Oh, I'm an American. So when we're saying this, we have to be direct. We're saying, oh, this is a U.S. The U.S. is a corporation. So that's not the proper government. We've been usurped and hypothecated with the pen. They conquered us with the pen. It wasn't they slid down on us and beat us up. You know what I'm saying? They beat us up with the pen, and now we become unknown to how the pen works. So so when we talk about this Moorish American and Moroccan argument, it should be clear that when we look at the treaty, because we as Moors know that treaties are supreme law of the land. We shouldn't be arguing or put emotions in anything. Treaties are supreme law of the land, and guess what, guys? We hold all the cards. You know
all right, let me address him before somebody say something, because like I said, our stance is absolute, and we ain't dumb at all. So anybody ever heard of this saying that what God means? What is the definition for God? And I'm not talking about Allah. Anybody in here that is an astute Moorish American, what does God mean?
Generator, operator, destroyer.
No, God means ruler of the land. So he said we're not Moorish Americans. So if God means ruler of the land, right?
Your prophet said that we're.
I got you, sir. Please, come on, man. Please, I got you. So God means ruler of the land, and we're Moorish Americans. America is the land. If you really want to know, God, Moor means God, and we're of God. So we are the gods of the land. We're ruling this land right here. So you need to get your facts straight. We are the gods. We're the rulers of this land right here that was up under our feet. Morocco literally means the land of God. Get your facts right, sir, before you come up here spewing that nonsense. We are the rulers of this land. We are the heirs of this land.
No one's challenging that, brother.
More don't mean land. Ka means land. Or
no,
I'm not addressing you right now. I'm talking about somebody in the chat. I'm gonna correct people as they go. More don't mean land. The word key means land. More land, right? More key, right? More means something else, like how we go into mourning, how we go into tomorrow. More has a real definition, and it's another word for the sun, the land of the rising sun. Look it up. So we know what it means. It's another word for God. God has many words. In Mecca, there was 360 different words for God, but they only kept one. Out of all of these different idols, they only kept one called the Korah or the Black Stone, but there were 360 different names for God. More is one of them. Somebody saying there's no sound. That's not on my end.
So we have to also understand that church and state is separate. So we're including a lot of religious talk with international.
All right, well, what do religious mean? What do religion mean? Give me a
brother. I don't want to go down the etymology and try to battle word for word with you.
Assertions, brother. You got to know what you're talking about. You got to know what you're talking about.
I know. I very much well know what I'm talking about.
Right, but you're trying to tell us what we're doing is wrong.
I'm just going to, brother. You're not even hearing me out.
Yeah, because you're saying stuff we don't agree with.
Okay, so we are going to agree that the Treaty of Peace and Friendship is our treaty, right?
No, it's many pieces of friendship.
No, I'm just asking you. Okay, so that's one of them, right?
So specify which one.
So there's two parties on there, right? So if you're saying that you're the Moorish American, that treaty doesn't say nothing about Moorish American in it at all. If you're talking about using that name, it says Moors and Americans.
Who said I'm using the peace treaty? Who told you that?
Brother, in order to be in a political setting, you have to use treaties. And in order to use treaties, you have to use the Vienna Convention of 1969. You have to accede to treaties. You have to agree to this stuff.
Break down the rights of the indigenous rights. Break that down. What does that mean?
Would you say break that down?
Yeah.
So again, you got to know statehood. Yeah, you got to be able to create your state. You know the 5 principles to be able to create a state.
Right, but all indigenous people, all people.
So we got.
It don't make a difference if you got a peace treaty. laws change all the time. It don't
Right.
make
So
a
we must
difference if
learn
you got a
law.
peace treaty or
We
not.
must learn law. You're
I can
right.
still identify as I choose. I don't need recognition from the United Nations.
No, you don't need.
I don't
I'm not
need them to
saying that, brother.
recognize me because I'm working with Allah. Allah is the best. Allah knows all. I don't
That's
need them.
that's a
You
spiritual
trying to make me go
conversation. We
through
have to.
somebody that Allah don't even recognize. You
No,
trying to make me jump
brother,
through all
no,
these
brother, but
hoops
we
to
still
get
must work
recognition
amongst
from
ourselves.
brothers.
We still must work amongst ourselves. How are we
Yeah,
going to have
yeah, but you
order
trying to
if
spook us, brother. You're trying to scare us, and then
here?
let's
No, I'm
focus and
trying
do
to
work over
simply
here.
explain to you what you're saying.
All right, well, go
Moorish
ahead. You got it,
American is
man.
an adjective. It's not even a noun. It can't describe the people are
Right.
named after the
I'm an
land, and the land
American,
is named
sir.
after
I'm
the
an
people. There's no
American.
land
You
called
missed
Moorish
it.
America. There's no land.
Brothers, it's so what? Yes, it is. I can
It's
prove it.
not. It's
It
not.
is, man. Come
It's
on, man. You're
not.
tripping.
It's
You're
not.
wasting my time, man. You're really
No,
wasting.
you're
Yes, it
wasting. Yeah,
is.
it's
It's
okay.
documented.
It's
New
okay. It's
countries are
okay.
made
It's
every
okay. See,
day.
this is why we fail to, because you're using
No,
your
you are
moral
failing.
argument
You're
instead of the
failing. I'm
legal
not failing.
argument.
Ain't no we.
You
What is
can't be
your
the
nationality?
you can't be the plaintiff and the defendant.
You're
You
just
guys are
making up
calling yourself
stuff.
American. So if you're going to court, you're going to represent yourself
I don't gotta go to
and be the
court for
defendant.
what? What am I
You
going to
sound
court
ludicrous.
for?
It sounds ludicrous
Why? Why
because you
am
have
I
to
going
hold
to
the people who
court?
stole your land accountable. What are you
Who
talking about?
stole my land? I still got my plantation in
You
Alabama right now, over
you
300
still
years.
got your plantation. You
Yeah.
hear this man talking? This is who y'all want to
Get
follow.
on up out of here, man. Get your
Yeah,
ass
get
out of
me up out of here, please.
here. My fucking
Please.
time with this dumb shit. Fuck out of here. Just talking and shit, man. Anyway, man. Up here talking about we and that, man. Worry about your damn self. We know what the hell we doing. We got a whole mission up here to complete and uplifting women. You worried about the wrong thing with all these technical semantics, talking about religion. We ain't religion. You ain't a Moorish American. Dude, I can pop up and give myself a new name tomorrow. I'm the superhuman of Earth. How you gonna prove me wrong? Don't tell me what to call myself, dude. Move around, man. Always trying to tell somebody something. Worry about yourself, man. But anyway, man, brother is building. Where the other brother go? Who was up here talking? He gone. I think he gone. I didn't want you to stop talking. I just wanted to get his other brother a chance. And here he come with this assalamu alaikum stuff. You know, this foreign Arab stuff when we are ancient. The brother already proved America is ancient. It's an ancient rendering of Morocco. It's the same word, but one is more ancient. He already did that, brother. You're not finna sit up here and trick us out of the stuff we invented. Trying to act like some Europeans invented it. Move around, dude. Straight up, bro. And we can get technical on the word Arab. The word Arab comes from the word Maghrib, and it means West. So now you got these people out here calling themselves West. Prove me wrong. You see what I'm saying? They hold on to these words that's given to them in the English sense, and then they're trying to correct us when we're saying the same thing. Now prove me a direction is your nationality. West. What the hell is West? Another person told me Mahurin mean West. So how the hell is that me? I'm not West. How you gonna tell me more means Mahurin and it mean West and that's my nationality? No, I don't. Or a nomad. Look at Arab equal nomad. Nomad is not my nationality. It's not my pedigree. I'm an Asiatic. Noble Drew Ali mentioned the Asiatic nation. He also mentioned that we are Moorish Americans. Being a nomad is not my nationality. Being a Western Maghrib is not my nationality. You understand me? So yeah, let's just stop with the
Hey,
technical
hey,
semantics.
point of interest, brother. I just want to know, like, yeah, I done heard Noble Drew Ali's name about 80 times in the past 60 seconds, brother. I've like much. I really all praise to the Most High, God, Allah, right? I follow no man, bro. No man. I understand that he had a mission and they isolated the brother. And the feds and corporate, they literally tried to sabotage this man, right? In his mission. They did the same thing with a lot of our leaders. None of our leaders had diplomatic immunity, brother. So I can understand as an individual, we can all go different ways, we can scatter. But what we need is peace, love, truth, all the principles. that the noble told us about. But those need to be backed by law. And in law today, you cannot mix church and state, brother. And you can't be both sides of the contract. You can't be the superior and the inferior point of the contract, brother. It just don't go. And I feel like the last brother was saying that
Yeah, he might,
you can
bro.
boot him off
That's not what we're doing.
your platform, but
We're
it's a
not
lot
a
of people.
church, brother. We're not a church. Y'all are just saying that. Church means a circle. The literally rendering of the word church is circle. It's a German word, Kirch.
Okay, but just like we on this call right now, when
Yeah.
a brother brought up the Vienna Convention of 1969, brother, that's when diplomatic communities was really established again by persons, and persons are states. So why we can go up, like you say, we can't go to court and have a lawyer, and these people are practicing British law because they all took the bar exam, right? And then we come in there with our, like, okay, he said, do you use the treaties? You said no, right? But it's a lot of, when I first came across the Moorish American movement, a lot of these documents were shown to me. It was the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. It was the Dred Scott case. It was a lot of different things like that. Yeah, the one-on-ones. There's a lot of things that I was going over, right? But when I got into statehood, man, it was kind of like, it wasn't no kind of
Hey,
like,
hey,
my
James,
pineal glands got cleared up, bro. And I start
bro.
seeing how to, it's not even, I'm not even going to sugarcoat. It's the AMPAC sessions, brother.
Watch this, brother. Like, where did you get that from? That you can't mix church and state?
From the Vienna Convention of
Hey, from the
1969, brother.
Caucasian. Nobody ever said
We,
that
you,
until the
Noble Drew
Europeans, right?
Ali said he was
Watch
going to
this.
leave
Watch this.
the Europeans
Watch
here
this.
for us
So
to learn government.
the rest of the world does mix church and state.
No,
The
they
rest
don't,
of the
bro.
world,
No, they don't.
Let me
Nowhere.
prove it to him.
bro.
Let me prove it to him. Go ahead.
That's
Why you
goofy.
go ahead and talk? Watch this.
You're not listening. It's
No,
true.
they don't, bro.
So why do you think how do you think they judge the people in these other countries? They're not doing it based on their religions,
Okay, so let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. That's statutory law that you're talking about, brother.
bro. Only the
That's
only the Europeans
can
did that.
another country come in another country
Only the
and do
U.S. corporation came up with that.
okay,
That
so
that was them getting
can Texas
independence.
interfere with a court in California?
Let's just prove him wrong first that governments can be religious. Let's stick to one at a time. So the brother said,
Okay.
what makes you think a government can be religious? Then we're going to define religion as well, because this is nothing but spookism. Because religion is a spiritual practice practiced by a group of people. Now, if we're going to have mass gathering in the city, clearly you're
What
going to have, what would you say? Clearly you're
excuse
going to
I
have,
said
yeah,
private law
private law, but we're
cannot
not
make any
dividing.
claims to territories.
I didn't hear you say that one more time.
I said private law cannot make any claims to territory or terrain. You have
Right,
to have public law, and that's why you have a constitution. You
right.
have constitution that claims your longitude and latitude. That's why you have a constitution, brother.
So have you ever heard of religious exemption? Have you ever heard of that, right? Religious
Yes.
exemption. So when you mass gather in a city, don't you got to notify the local officials while you're gathering? Don't you got to notify them? Ain't that the smart thing to do to avoid penalties and trespassing charges and loitering, right? So we have a religious exemption due to our ancestors' spiritual practice. So what I want to show you is a theocracy is a form of government where religious authorities hold power. So you lied. You can mix government with religion. All we got to do is find out what religion is and find out it's nothing spooky about it at all. It's a mass following. It's when a wide range, a group of people comes together to practice their morals and their supernatural spirituality. It's nothing spooky about it. It's just when a group of people does it. But this is what we're doing to let the people know, look, we're not harming y'all. This religion is recognized as one of the most peaceful in the world. And we're gathering today in commemoration when the first man was born and when he passed away. That's what our religion does. It's Moorish American. And this gives us a certain exemption where we can't get taxed, we can't get harassed. It gives us a certain authority as well in the city that we dwell in. Now, the reason why this is important because everybody's not a sultan, everybody's not a billionaire, but everybody's a child of Allah. So everybody has the rights to congregate. Everybody gonna have these free rights.
Hey, Noble, you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, really quick, can I show this really quick? Because I'm listening to what y'all saying, bro, and we all here for the truth. I'm with y'all. I'm here for the fucking truth too. So, and I'm listening to what's being said, and I just asked the question just to see, because I'm listening. Say, can one have a seat at the United Nations with the it's a theocratic government, right? And I asked that. And AI says, yes, theocratic governments can be members of the United Nations.
But I mean, he's wrong.
It says provided they meet the criteria outlined in the UN Charter. So, and then I guess they go over it. Now, that being said, I mean, that's what that say. Now, watch this. I mean, again,
5 titles. Like don't go over some of their heads. I think I don't even think all of them know what theocracy is.
Right. Okay. Let me see. Okay. I
Theo means
also
God, but we don't
watch this. Watch this. I'm just asking a question because look, bro. At the end of the day, I don't. It's like I'm nobody. It ain't no side. All the side is truth. That's all it is. The side of truth. And we gotta sit there and be able to read this shit, break this shit down. And you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm right now in the company of you know what I'm saying, notable Moors. And I say that because again, I can't stress this enough that all the other ones is falling off that's on some Indian and black shit. They're on some bullshit. They're on some full-blown bullshit. You guys are the only ones that I can really show the utmost respect to because y'all the ones that standing on business. So regardless of what's going on now, I'm here for the truth. So as long as we get the truth, I'm with y'all on the truth. That's it. And as more as we know, we on the truth. So I also ask this, does the Vienna Convention of 1969 say church and state can't be mixed, right? Can't be mixed. It says right here, the Vienna Convention on the Law of Treaties of 1969 deals with the law governing international treaties, meaning agreements between states. It does not address the separation of church and state, as this is typically considered a matter of domestic constitutional law within individual countries. So
I mean,
this
he
is
made
what
that
this
up.
say.
He just made it up, brother. He made all that up.
And then look, this is at the end of the day. Like I said, I'm on the side of truth. I'm on the side of truth. Just know that. So I stress that to all the Moors. If you got Moors running around here saying janky shit, and I know damn well, I'm like, hey, my job is to, maybe they don't know no better. If I do know something on the fly, I'm like, bro, no, you wrong right there, and tell me out. And all the Moors that do know me,
Point
that
of
have been
interest,
on my,
brother.
I got real quick. Hold on, let me land the plane, and I got you right now. I'm gonna yield the floor right now. My thing is this, and I've told Moors that know me know. When I go in, I always tell Moors, if I say something is wrong, check me at the gate. If you know different, check me at the gate when I'm wrong, and you show me how I'm wrong, and we're gonna look it up to get it straightened out. You know what I'm saying? So I yield the floor with that, and I got love for all of y'all. Know that I'm on the side of truth. Know that I'm just no side but the truth. That's it. I yield.
Okay, point of interest. Google is a form of Chat GPT. We have to go and look up the legislation ourselves down to the article. I think brother said Article 73. We have to go. It's all public law. We can go look this up on the UnitedNations.com. They have these treaties listed, just like the brother pulled up the Act of Algiers and read it. So what I'm saying, okay, it probably doesn't mention verbatim state and church and state, right? But it mentions domestic events. We can't. We can't mix. We can't mix private law with public law. That's basically what I mean when I say church and state. Private law can be based on your beliefs. It can be manipulated, right? Public law is something that was voted on, ratified, and deposited. This is what I mean that states have to be a part of treaties, not individuals. Now, individuals that were voted on have diplomatic immunity because they represent the states as a person. So that's why that convention was even brought up, because it was a point to where the United Nations knew that private law was taken out of proportion. Like, bro, Noble Drew Ali was hitting them on the head with private law. They had to do something to change the international law. I'm not saying that all of this is it, like Noble Drew Ali was wrong. The private law was wrong. I'm not saying all that. That can be misconstrued. But we have to know, it's a reason why we don't know our true nationality as a people. And it's because we've been naturalized. Our people have been naturalized, brother.
I feel you on that. Is Moorish subjects or whatever. So what kind of government? What kind of government is the Moroccan Empire? I need you to specify, like, because you have a republic, you have a democracy, you have a theocratic form of government, right? You have the Sultan, right? You have these different forms of government. What do y'all consider yourself?
Well, we're a republic, brother. But at the same time,
Okay.
I would, at the same time, brother, listen.
But you just said y'all an empire, though, so you know who rules the
Yes,
empire.
at the same time, brother, listen. Before I overtalk, I literally would like to tell you guys to go and look at AMPAC sessions for your own benefits. Even if you don't want to. Because if it's me just rambling on here and talking about it, I'm only rambling and talking. We have a constitution that you can read. Knowledge is free at the WRC, brother.
Hey, brother.
I can't continue to go over here and say everything about the empire, because I will not be able to.
Hey,
I
brother.
don't want
Can
to
I ask you?
make the empire look bad.
Hey, brother.
I don't want to make the empire look good. The empire is what it is.
Yo,
But I know that
yo.
they're back online, and I know that you can access it. And I know, just like we can read the United States Constitution,
Hey, brother
we can
Bates.
have access to the Empire Constitution.
Brother Bates. Like how many kingdoms are under this empire? Mic check, mic check. Y'all hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, brother.
Yeah. I was asking how many kingdoms are under this empire?
How many
No.
kingdoms are under this empire, brother?
Yeah.
So look, the empire is resubmerged, right? And
Yeah.
and
An empire, an empire consists of three.
as far as I know, we have 6
Kingdoms.
de jure states,
No, I'm talking about
because
kingdoms. Because brother,
kingdoms are
that's how you form a country.
right, right,
But to form an empire, you have to, have multiple, like many kingdoms.
right. But
It's
that's the ancient kingdom that you're referring to, brother. We are re-emerging as what our ancestors already put online. We
that's
are
what I'm saying.
re-emerging.
Like some people have jumped to the word tribe when a tribe consists of many clans, and clans consist of families coming together. You
Right,
know? So if a person only has their family, how can they be claiming that that's a tribe? You know what I'm saying?
right,
So the same thing going for all of this is like we are going to restore the empire, and
right.
we have to take over all of these territories, and that's an empire. You know?
But these countries, these states that are right now, they are corporations. California, Florida, all these states, they are de facto, and we are coming back online for them to be de jure states, brother. So at
And
the
that's
same
why you
time,
got to
you're
be
right about
careful.
what you're saying, but this is new international law, and in order for us to be having our affairs to be in the affairs of man, brother, we have to check the boxes. We have to check the boxes, brother.
Yeah.
So I would just say the source is not me, because I'm just Kavion Bay. AMPAC Study Sessions is a platform just like we doing on here. We can go on there and we can ask questions. We can look at the videos. We can get in touch with the people that's on the videos through email. You know what I'm saying? That's public law. Like he's on the website right now. That's public law. You know what I'm saying? RV publication. And you know what? There's no cash apps involved. Ain't nobody asking you for no money. These
Hey,
people are
hey,
literally
hey,
risking
put
their
it like,
lives, taking their time.
hey, look,
Hello?
look, look, put it like this. Like, if I got to give them a comparison, I mean, it's two different fields, but I'm gonna just say this because you talking about. Well, I'm talking about Noble and the Sultan over the AMPAC studies, right? Like, I can kind of compare it to Bobby Hemmett and Dr. Malachi. And we all know Bobby Hemmett, we respect him. But what I never liked about Bobby is when he came on the scene, he came on the scene on the back of hating on Dr. Malachi. You know, that was literally like a big talking point of his, was hating on this man. So the same thing going for the Sultan of the AMPAC studies. Like he should know not to really talk about Noble Drew Ali in a bad light. Like
Brother,
that's
I've never heard the Sultan talk about Noble Drew Ali in a bad light.
oh I
He
gotta
always talked, he said this was toilet bowl water, talking about the teachers that followed Noble Drew Ali.
okay.
Because a lot of those people were going to courts and getting kicked in the face and never winning any of these courts and still keeping up the same information that got them losing these cases. And our people have been following them, sending cash apps and doing all this. Like bro, I done been into it with so many people that I followed that helped me understand it. Brother, it's been a road for me. And I will never disrespect the prophet. I don't even like disrespecting my ancestors, period.
Yeah.
People that have fought. So even if you were wrong, it's not about that.
That's
It's
right.
not even about disrespecting the Europeans.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I can
Any of them
respect
brothers
the
in the
treaty laws.
MSTFA though, any of them brothers you speaking about, they don't speak for the MSTFA. And even though the MSTFA might not be your typical government, it is a body politic, like Morris Master teacher said. It might not be
Okay.
what you accept. You see what I'm saying? But these people y'all talking about charging for nationality and paperwork, we don't do none of that. It's forbidden and prohibited. And we don't like arresting our own people, but if we could, we would. We
But
would
see, that's
arrest them.
why we have Moroccan law, brother. That's why we reading the Act of Algeciras of 1906. It says Moroccan law. Even how the European was allowed to bring guns and have permission to do all this. It's not just about arresting people because everybody has due process. Everybody. And this is what international law
Let me
has. It's a standard of law.
let me
It's
let me help you with something right quick, brother. Because like I say, I'm all about helping brothers, and when I can be corrected, people need to correct me.
right,
So remember when you said that y'all was a republic, right? Remember
right.
that? I was like, what type of government y'all is? So this y'all need to know who y'all talking to. Y'all be talking to some of the best
Let me go
researchers.
read the Constitution.
Oh, here it
That's
is
what I
right
need to
here. You can
read.
just read this. You said y'all was a republic, but then y'all running around here saying y'all are the Morocco Empire.
Right.
And that's what I've been saying. Y'all are not the
So,
Morocco.
so,
I got you. I got
so,
you. I swear for God, give me 20 seconds. Just 20 seconds.
I got
The
you, brother.
whole premises for me being up here today is to prove y'all are not a Morocco empire. You clearly just said you're a republic. I don't even know why we having this conversation because an empire is not a republic. It is not the same. An
Okay.
empire has an
So let me tell
empire
you
has
about me personally, right?
yeah, I got you. Yeah,
I
you
am
got it.
not a Moroccan as of now. I'm in the stages of becoming a Moroccan. Right now, I am an ipso juris mores subject, and I fall under the jurisdictions of the United States Corporation
Right.
legally. Now, lawfully, I can run and say, "Hey, I'm doing all this. I'm a Moroccan. I'm a Moroccan. I'm a Moroccan," but I will not lie
And that's why
because
you need to get up on Noble Draw League teachings
I
because
do,
he teach. I'm
brother.
finna give you some game. I'm not
Hold
coming
on,
down
brother.
on you.
Hold
I
on,
got
brother.
you. I need you to listen right quick.
Wait,
Noble Draw
let me
League
finish
said
explaining to myself, though. Let me finish explaining myself. Now, when
Noble
I say
Drew Ali
we,
say man knows nothing by being told, right?
right,
So, and he said What I brought you, you can take it and save a nation, but save yourself. So if you haven't done all of that, you can't be telling people all of this information that you ain't applied to yourself. This is wisdom 101. Don't go telling me to do something that you ain't done yourself. And that's what we're telling AMPAC. Y'all still got to go to the ICJ to get more further approvals. Y'all have
That's
not
right.
completed y'all mission. Don't come over
brother,
here telling us
brother. Let
what
me
we
let me
ain't
let me
done.
tell you this
I got
though.
you. I got you.
That
Don't come telling us what
that
we
is
ain't done when
false.
y'all ain't done it.
That's false right there.
What? Oh
All
my
that has
goodness.
been took. See, brother, I can say I can tell you my part of the journey. I'm not complete. I have not.
So
I
how are you
paid,
giving us
brother, to be a
advice?
Moorish
How
American.
are you
I
giving
paid.
us advice if you're not complete yet? How?
You
How
said
would
you
you?
had
Why
a
would you
state
want to do
ID.
that?
I knew it.
Why would you?
When you say you had a state, I do have a state ID. I have a California ID, brother.
Hey,
Like I
don't go
said, I'm an
giving us
I
ipso
advice.
understood.
juris Moorish
That's what I'm
subject,
saying.
brother.
I understood that. I'm from Cali.
So
I do
when I
not.
said that I'm an ipso juris Moorish subject, and I'm not saying that I'm black, I'm not saying that that I'm a Moorish American. I said what was in the treaty law. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying something that I just made up. I didn't get on here saying that I'm a Moroccan national. I didn't get on here saying that.
Kevion,
Hey,
I'm taking people
hey,
to the course, to the
All
well
right.
where
hey,
they can
hey,
drink,
hey,
and that's
hey,
the AMPAC study session.
hey, I'm gonna just say this, and I don't know why it's not understood that a Moroccan national can be a Moorish American. Like it's
Brother,
that simple.
brother.
It's that simple.
Okay,
There's no separation if a person chooses to do both. Yeah, but
okay.
their government they
Well, you
said we
submit your
can't be.
documentation to any courts that you wanted to submit to, right? This is great. I can be a Muslim, brother. I can be whatever.
Exactly.
A Buddhist.
That's why I'm wondering like what's the what's the
I
issue?
can be whatever. But I'm talking about in international law, brother, that you have to have a state. And
Yeah, but we talking about right here on this land law. On this land law, Moorish American is the vehicle that our people could really run things. We could really run things or get the party started. I'll tell you that.
can I say 2 cents real quick? So what you know what when I was looking at a lot of the document, hey Kevion, on your background, can you mute so I can hear clearly or speak clearly because it's a okay. So when I was reading in some of the studies, right, and I'm looking at everything and I'm looking at it for what it is. The what I noticed and it was stuck out to me when I peeped it is that so the Pope, right, mind you, the Pope was issuing papal bull decrees upon the Moors to enslave us, right? So what I found out was that we're talking about states and stuff, and then when I read in the House resolutions of Illinois and Georgia, etc., they affirm in there that the Moorish Americans have a sovereign theocratic government guided by the command principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. So I was like, wait a minute. So now I looked at the fact that like, what exactly is a theocratic government, right? So then I looked at it and I found out and I compared the two and said, wait a minute, the fucking Pope is using a theocratic government to enslave us by issuing decrees. So I was thinking, I said, wait a minute. So does that mean that we can also issue decrees and enslave them? I'm just hypothetically speaking, right? Is like so we can issue laws, we can write laws and shit too, right? So if they can do that, and then if we have our stuff established, it's a corporation. So if the MST of A has been incorporated, it is a sovereign theocratic body politic. It is a form of body politic, right? And I'm listening to the two of y'all speak, and we comparing note, and I'm looking at everything. Like I said, I'm on the side of truth. I don't. It don't matter. It don't matter. At the same time, these are healthy discussions for us because at the end of the day, I cannot sit there and have a healthy discussion with nobody that's not considered as my equals. And you guys are the only ones, I'm not just y'all, but it's other Moors too. However, the ones that are here on this platform know what time it is as far as it was going on, that they know that, hey, at the end of the day, that we are, in fact, Moors. And I was also going to touch on the fact that, Kevion, that what you said, because some people are lost, and let me explain. Because you said Moorish subject. So when some of the people in the comments, they don't know the difference. Let me explain the difference because I know it's hard because I had to find out. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, why would I want to be a Moorish subject reading the information? And then what I found out, when you say you're a subject of, or you're a Moorish subject, not a subject to, a subject of, let me tell y'all the difference for those that don't know. And I advise everybody in the comments that don't know what I'm going to say to look it up for yourself. That way you ascertain it and you own that shit. And as Moors, that's what we do, right? So when they say you're subject to, that means you're under their jurisdiction. They could do whatever they want to do to you. When you're a subject of, it means you're a national of a particular nation, state, or body politic, what have you. So know the difference. When they say a Moorish subject or a British subject, that means you're a national. If they say you're subject to, it means you're under the jurisdiction like a 14th Amendment citizen. I was just adding that because I heard you say that, and to clear that for the people that's listening so they don't get confused, like a subject, what? That don't sound good. But they don't know the difference, some people, so I'm explaining that because we all have to learn. So I yield the floor, and again, high honors to the nobles up in here, and this is a healthy discussion. I yield.
Yes, to and of are two different things. And as I wanted to find out as well, if any of you guys read the Treaty of Peace and Friendship.
For sure.
You read it? So you speak you read Arabic.
Nah, I don't know Arabic.
Okay,
know
so
Arabic.
I
You
just
talking about
wanted
the original one?
Yeah,
about the originally written in Arabic? That's what you're talking about?
Yes,
right?
Right. So you would have to know somebody who was able to translate that for you. I do have
Hey,
a
King
friend.
Kelly, I don't know if you're talking, but my shit is glitching again because I can't hear you.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. So it was. Yeah. The original one is in Arabic. I have a friend who
I can't
he
hear you if you're
acquired.
talking either. My shit is freezing again.
It is.
But if you're
Can
talking
anybody
about the
else hear
original
me?
one, Arabic, it was written in Arabic, and then I'd seen the English version. So no, I don't speak Arabic. I don't know.
Okay.
Again, I don't know if y'all can hear me. I'm gonna get off, and I'm gonna come back. I don't know what's going on. They've been messing with my TikTok account. So let me drop down and come back up because I don't know what's going on. It's frozen.
I don't even know if anybody else can hear me clearly. Then
I hear you. The host hear
Yeah, I
you.
can hear you
yeah.
clearly, brother.
Yeah, no, I was just stating that the original, actually my friend, a good friend of mine, he acquired it, paid money for it, and also paid money to have someone translate it. So to really get the truth and understanding of it, that's the one you need. Not the one, this one printed in English. The one you need is the one that's written in Arabic.
Hey,
And that was
point of interest, brother. I gotta get out of here because I gotta go to work, y'all. Hey, it was a lovely time talking, dialoguing with y'all, man. Y'all have peace and love, man. Islam. Y'all have a good one, okay?
I
peace,
appreciate
love,
you,
and
brother, for
prosperity, bro.
everything, man.
Peace, love, and prosperity.
For sure. Peace, Mo. Peace.
Well, yeah, so I was just the true real one is in Arabic, and if you want to get the real meaning and understanding, that's the one you need, and have it translated for you, and you'll find out it's some stuff in there that's written in the English one that's kind of it's off.
Right.
So
That
that's
makes sense.
why I'm telling you that. Yeah.
That's what's up. That's good information, Moab. That's good info. That's why also when I was touching on these words too, that we know that. So this is again why all these conversations are necessary, because this is the meeting of the minds. We having church right now. This is church right now. We in a circle right now having church. This is real church right here. You see what I'm saying? So, everybody else, our brothers and sisters, like really, when you look at it, we're the few right now that's really conscious to know. We're conscious enough to know that, hey, bro, we're Moors nonetheless, and we belong to this landmass. And whereas our brothers and sisters, this is like, I don't know what part that they don't get this. This is not India. I've went over this stuff so many times, and it's really sickening. Like, as an example, when y'all remember in the Matrix, how Neo was being attacked by those agents, and Morpheus told him, he said, everybody is potentially an agent. The agents are everyone, and they're no one. He said an agent is anybody that's not unplugged, and it's crazy. We see it every day. When we pull up in, I'll pull up in a live, and they're like, oh, some more in here, and it's our own people attacking us. I got in a live yesterday, and I get in the live, you know what I'm saying? This happens all the time, and the Moors know, because I know we all go through it. Get in there to drop some signs on our people, like, man, y'all not listening. I'll get up there and start dropping something. and be attacked by like about 4 of our own people jumping me, and they're like how Agent Smith was trying to do a Neo in one of his newer versions when he was like, man, it was Smith. He said, yeah. He was like, it's more of me. He said, a lot more. That's how our people packing us out. They're agents because they sleep. It's like, y'all still under the spell. Y'all in the matrix. Get unplugged. And we trying to wake them up, and they look. It's like you guys are a glutton for punishment. And where my noble? Oh, he up out of here. Morris Master, because Morris Master, the first one that mentioned this particular phrase, Stockholm syndrome. And I'm like, Stockholm syndrome? He's like, yeah, Mo, they suffering from Stockholm syndrome. I'm like, so what is that? He's like, and he broke it down. And I'm like, hold on, let's check this out. I want to go get a bar, and I'm like, damn, that's right on point. They suffer from Stockholm syndrome, and they're gluttons for punishment. You guys are in sin. That's why you're going through the shit you're going through. You guys are sinning badly. And it's like, you don't get that? Y'all better unplug from the matrix. So,
And that's why we've been telling you guys since the beginning of this platform, it's like, listen, keep your ears and eyes wide open, right? You're going to hear some things you might not really quite understand, or you might have an issue with it, but it's up to you to go take that information and study it. You understand? So you can gather that understanding and the truth about it. We might be saying a whole bunch of stuff, and I know the brothers were saying stuff. I know it went over some of you guys' head, some of the words and stuff like that, but that's your opportunity to write it down, take it, and study it and find out the truth about it. I mean, it's out there. You can't just take anything we say and run with it, because you still don't know nothing. All this stuff, anybody that heard, that's how a lot of people got in trouble. It's just taking it and running with it and don't know how to stand on it or use it or implement it, because they have no awareness or knowledge of it. They just took it and ran with it. And that's why you see some of these Moors in trouble in court on media and stuff like that, because they just took something and ran with it and didn't get a full comprehension of it, and that's the problem. And it gives everybody a bad look,
Right.
When, like
And
I said, go ahead, bro.
I was gonna say, and because even Taj has mentioned this before. He said it. He said he stressed it, and I completely get it. He said it is dangerous. I stressed this with a whole lot of hyperbole on this, right? It is dangerous for our people to get this information and not be given law, right? Because what does that mean? What am I saying? And what did he say? In translation to that, meaning that because our people to say, hey, well, we indigenous to here. Basically, we don't have to really go through this shit we're going through. We don't have to pay taxes. We don't have to do all these things. And it's like, okay, yes, we do have these rights to do these things. The only thing is, though, you can't just, oh, yeah, well, I'm not going to do this and I'm not going to do nothing. I don't have to, you know what I'm saying? And you're like, hold on, bro. But you also have to put yourself in position in accord to make sure things are in line so you don't get jammed up as far as in accordance with the law, and put yourself in position so you walk this shit out with no issues. And this was early on again. So, and this is when King Cali said that's kind of more or less what's going on, and what not Noble Drop, but Taj was saying. And again, it's like, I fucking get that, because it's like, man, because again, the ones that know me know that, hey, in my particular area at the time when I first became conscious, there was no Moors around to assist me in anything going on. And I, you know what I'm saying, going through shit and getting banged up and bruised up and this shit is like, I didn't got a lot of war wounds for this shit. You see what I'm saying?
That's why I said I had to go through trial and error on my own, bro.
Exactly. So we all know.
It wasn't no we. So that's where you have to take this information and dig into it. And like I said, I knew what affected me and my people the most was law, ignorance of the law. We suffered from not knowing law. So I dug deep into that. But again, I know now too that law and history, both, you can't have one without the other. So basically stating that, man, just it's about, you don't have to become no freaking top tier lawyer or anything like that. But I'm telling you, if something is affecting you, whatever it is, I don't care whether it's health, some kind of nutrition, you have to study that to know the truth of it. You know what I mean? You have to study all of these things. Anything that's affecting us in life, how are you going to know? I mean, you can't even help your babies if you have any. Now you're leaving it up to somebody else to do whatever they want to do to your babies.
You know what, King? On top of that, right? So I was saying that, my noble, the more you know what I'm saying? Me and him chop it up regularly. We chop it up. You know what I'm saying? And even because he was actually in that live I'm talking about with me at that yesterday or whatnot. And it's like we was chopping it up. It's like, man, and it's messed up because how you just said about the babies, it's like they're gonna suffer because the mother, the father still haven't broke the generational curses yet. And it's messed up because, like, man, that's another generation gone now. For what? For what? Why? You're suffering because you're ignorant and you don't want to listen to nobody. And that's why you know what I'm saying. Hosea verse 6 talks about that in that particular verse, that you know what I'm saying. Basically in the King James version, that, hey man, look, you're gonna go through everything. You know what I'm saying. That you're gonna go through everything, and your kids, your offspring, are gonna get the same thing. I'm gonna turn my back on them too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, make it make sense. They don't have to go through none of that.
Well,
You know
you
what I'm
know
saying?
what
And
trip
they not thinking, they don't have an open mind.
right. What tripped me out was this time period where the beginning of the outbreak with this pandemic, when that started, like over a period of 2 to 3 years, I'm gonna say up to 4 years. Over that period, none of our people, that was a pure opportunity to start learning. It was so much information, and everybody was locked up at that time. You couldn't really go nowhere. So that was a pure opportunity to learn, to teach your loved ones, to teach your children's. It was so much information, especially everybody was on the internet at that time as well. And it gets me that, man, they didn't take that opportunity
Right, right.
to, get some information and learn.
For
That's
sure.
how,
It's
like,
the
it's hurtful, bro.
it
But
is.
like, it's gonna be like, it's sad to say, but a lot of our people will have to be left behind. Yeah,
Exact. Yep.
that's just the way it is.
It's clear. Look, it's clear to me. That's very clear to me, Mo, too. Because even like last night, right? I told them. I said, you know what? Because even when I was going to speak, I told them now, because our people are so incompetent. I said, in order to speak to me, if you would like to have a dialogue with me, right? You have to. I made it to where now Five Titles has two prerequisites. What are my prerequisites? One is that you have the ability to read. Do you know what to read is? Two, that you have emotional intelligence. What do those two things mean? Let's just look at these two basic things that every adult should have, right? To have the ability to read means that you have the ability to look at words and phrases and put them together in conjunction if need be, and comprehend and understand, overstand, and understand what you're taking in and digesting, and be able to give something back. Say, I understood that. I can give you something back and tell you exactly what it means to break it down. The next thing being emotional intelligence, meaning that basically, hey man, you have enough sense to know, like, to control your emotions, how to talk to people, how to move, how to, you know what I'm saying? Basically, how to keep your avatar in check, when to speak, when not to speak, how to listen, how to do these things, and how to operate you know what I'm saying, with other people and our avatars here having this human experience as God's here. Now, if you can't do that, if you can't do that, it's an issue. You see, it's an issue. So, hey, like I said, and everything at the end of the day, it's all about the truth. Because if nothing is not about truth, I'm not fucking with it. I'm not fucking with it. And I'm gonna say one more thing, and I'm gonna yield the floor. And I'm pretty sure it's probably all Moors in the chat. Is there anybody, just, and don't be shy, because these are questions. I'm gonna just ask it. Is there anybody inside PNF's live right now that is still, like, doesn't fully think or know that we're Moors and not Indians or black people? If so, say that, and then I can show you something to show you exactly that who we are. Is there anybody? If not, then okay. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna just say, don't be shy. If so, speak up, and then I can show you something right now to show what it is. I yield the
Yeah,
floor.
speak up. If you don't understand something, say something. Like they said, closed mouth don't get fed. So you probably need to speak up. But what I
Well,
also wanted to say is that people understand this: public and private do not mix. Okay. So the brother Kavion, he explained he had a state ID. That's public. Okay. You can't be public and private at the same time. You can't go into these so-called courtrooms and try to be, you know, while you holding this government ID, issued ID. You know, so when he asked me, I'm from California too, and I told him I had them. Trust me, I had them because I worked and everything else. I had all of these government issues IDs or whatever. But an American national, you don't carry none of that stuff. That's all about jurisdiction. I promise you that. Okay? So that's what I'm saying. You have to separate yourself from this corporation in the jurisdiction thereof in order to be an American national.
Right.
And like I said, the stuff that I deal with, I like to show and prove. And I show people, they talk about, the passports with the star. I have that. Okay.
Yeah, I seen it. You showed it to me on my show before, so you definitely official, man. Straight up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's real. It's real. And I can go and show you this. I did all of that. I've been in this for years. That's what I'm telling you. I've made up my own plates for my automobile, and as a matter of fact, I got 2 other ones that have. You will see the tag on it that expired over 8 years ago, and I still travel that way. So it's just basically we're not trying to take over no government. That's not our place. We are lawful abiding citizens.
Right.
We obey the law. And don't get it twisted. We obey the law. We're not here to disobey any laws. But you got to know what's the difference between law and legal. Okay? And what legal is those contracts you guys have. And those are the things you need to get away from.
Right. Got you. That makes a lot of sense, man.
Also to add what he said about the legal, right? So legal is also what he said is contracts. However, legal is also, to help and assist with the operations of the said law. You see, so what law is applicable to you in whatever position, whether you be a subject or a national, what law applies to you? So whatever legalities, as the noble stated about contracts, legal also is a way to it's the formation of how laws are being adjudicated. It's like, okay, here goes the legal administration processes of how we're going to go over and execute this law. So if that makes sense to add
Right.
to what the noble just said. And
that's where your
I was going to
status
say
and
also,
standings come in place. That's where your status and standing
that's
come
right.
into place. What he's talking about.
Basically, that's how they know if you competent or not, man.
The noble said, I asked the question, huh?
Nah, you got basically I'm saying they already know beforehand how competent you is, with these
Yeah.
instruments that they issue. I got this other brother named Great Uncle who been very patient, man. I don't know if you just listening in or if you want to add to the conversation or ask questions. But here's your chance, Great Uncle. He's not there, so we can carry on. But yeah, the other brother Devion, he was a lesson to be learned. And I got this video.
Can I get the big screen?
Yeah, definitely. That brother Devion, man, he got a lot of heart. But like I say, man, stop trying to be a hero, trying to tell us, how to correct something. You ain't corrected it yourself, brother. Because
I was with you on that. I'm like, man, you can't. And I don't like people like that who tell
Can
you a
y'all hear
whole
me?
bunch of stuff, and they haven't done it themselves. You have to watch out for that.
right.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. So
Yeah, go ahead,
I
brother.
asked the question earlier. I asked the question earlier and nobody said nothing. However, one of the nobles in there asked that I basically go over it anyway, because I know some of our people could be shy sometimes. Like, y'all don't have no reason to do that. Y'all up in here, I'm saying, with your peoples. There's no reason to feel like that. Y'all at home, you feel me? No reason to feel like that. So this right here, let's look at some basic things, right? First of all, I'm gonna give you guys a little background on the scholar that did this document, just so you know, really quickly, right? So it's a scholar. Her name is Zelia Natal, spelled Zelia Natal, Nuttall, right? Natal. So this particular scholar, and I did some little homework on her. She did a lot of studies in Mesoamerica. She went to Harvard University, and she was a special assistant in the Peabody Museum at Harvard University with all the tools and all the proper books and what have you. They used to bring her to these places to read certain languages that were utilized that most people can't read, and they need these special things and tools to be able to do it and go do the studies to do this stuff. So she's very astute in what she's done, and I'm, you know what I'm saying? I really feel honored to be able to take the work that she did back in the day so we could apply this and use this as reference and information. So here goes the reference. If you ever had any doubt to think that, hey, no, we have to be Indians, and you ever doubted it, I'm gonna make it very clear to you and plain. Archaeological and ethnological papers of the Peabody Museum, Harvard University, not a junior college, not one of these accredited colleges. Harvard University, Volume 1, Number 1, standard or headdress. And really quickly, they're talking about the headdress that was taken from King Montezuma that's actually inside of a museum today, right? So now it says right here, look at this. It says an historical essay, right? And it's about, hey, let's look at history. We got to look at law and history. Law and history go together. History. An historical essay on a relic of ancient Mexico, right? And again, as I stated already, by Zelia Natal. There goes your scholar. I advise you guys to check her out, because I plan on doing some more digging on her, right? It says special assistant of the Peabody Museum, right? So boom, let me show you this right here. Let's scroll down here. I think it's on page 6, right? So let's scroll, boom, 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 boom. I think so, right, one more. Wait, 2 more, page 1, 2, right here. All right, here we go. So page 6, right? Now let me highlight the following for us, right? Watch this. And I'm gonna show you how they hijacked our shit, make it make sense for y'all, right? And there was society. If you ever had any doubt about that, it says the term Moorish, as here applied, can scarcely be regarded as a deceptive one. Why does it say a deceptive one? Insomuch as Montezuma, the king of Tenochtitlan, right, and Mexico, is subsequently designated, bro's given a subsequential designation as what? As a Moorish king. Now, you talk about Montezuma, the king of Tenochtitlan or Tenochtitlan and Mexico. He's designated as a Moorish king, not an Indian king, a Moorish king, right? It says in this same inventory of 1596, see page 9. It says, it is interesting to note. This is when you take notes if you don't know. It is interesting to note the gradual changes. She's telling you right here, there's some changes being made. They're altering history, Reconstruction Acts and shit. Changes that occur in the wording of the subsequent periodical official registrations of this Moorish hat. In 1613, its description was faithfully reproduced. They changed the description. They're changing shit. Now, this is the hijack. She prepped you already. She pre-gamed you. Now watch the hijack. This is where they took our shit. In 1621, and really quickly, for understanding purposes in depth, if we are a classroom full of students and we all attend the same class, and one day our particular original teacher is not in there any further, and they say, oh, the teacher's not here today, they have to do X, Y, Z, they're going to issue us what you call something like a substitute teacher to fill in. So it says in 1621, the word Indian was substituted for Moorish. This is why you don't never hear nothing about Moorish. You always hear about Indian, because the Indian was substituted for the Moors, because they took this out and they instilled the Indian title. It says with, or label with this single alteration, they're altering history. It says the original text, the original writing, or the original scribing was again transcribed in 1730. So what does that mean? Hold on, y'all got a little background noise. Hold on. So okay. So with that being said, right, they double down on us from this point and this point. They double down again on us, and they fucking buried the history deeper. Now watch this. Now let's cross-reference this even further with the works of this particular scholar. So let me
Well, I
see. Do
need
I
a
have it
copy
right
of
here? Let me
that,
see.
bro. I need a copy of that.
Yeah, yeah. Matter of fact, here, take you a screenshot on the screen if you haven't already, and then I'll give you a screen, and you can look it up, and you can snatch it off, and you can get a PDF. So you have that, and this is to ascertain that what they're doing is cap, right? So now, and I'll let me go up to the top for you real quick, and I'm gonna move on to the next. Hold on, let me give you the all right, and then further right here, if you get a screenshot, and then because this is one of my favorite receipts right here for that Indian stuff. So I don't know if y'all can see that clear enough, but this is pretty much it. There you go. Y'all good?
Yeah, go ahead.
What's the site that's on?
You could just you could literally just Google search this Mo, and it'll pop up online. And it just popped up PDF version. You could just type this in and it'll pop up.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You all right? Okay, so now let me find the I'm gonna show you. Okay, right here. Boom. Here it goes. Watch this. Now watch the cross reference. Now, wait, hold on. That's not it. That's not my bad. That's not it. Hold on. Right.
Hold on. This is in the same
We got it
document.
open. No. This I'm gonna go to a new document now. I'm gonna go and cross reference it. PNF. I'm gonna
Okay,
go
I
cross
got
reference it. Let me go over here. Let me see. Now, let me type it in real quick because I thought I had it on here, but I don't see it. I'm saying we're gonna cross reference this to make sure it's right? Because the scholar already did the work, right? So we just gonna check. We're gonna fact check her work, right? Let's fact check it. Right, section 9. Okay, let me see. All right, watch this right here. If anybody had any doubt, we're gonna clear that up. Anybody? So now I'm gonna take you guys to a site that has a lot of receipts on there, a lot of good receipts. Okay, so you guys can also get a screenshot. This is it right here. This is the source we're going to. So if you guys would like to get a screenshot of the source, that's it, right? Now, let's go in here and check it out, right? Let's go peek this out. Now, I'm going to scroll to the top so you guys can see too as well what it is. This says Nanticoke and Lenape Confederation Learning Center and Museum, right? It says a timeline of historical highlights. Law and history go together. Law and history go together, right? So now let's scroll down. I'm going to show you 2 receipts in here to make it make sense. Watch this. First, let's look at this one right here. All right, boom. So right here it says what? It says 1930. Now watch this. What they did to us. This what I'm going to show you is paper genocide. This is fucking paper genocide. This is proof. 1930, original Delaware census records in which the census field worker identified Sussex County tribal families as Nanticoke, mixed, or Indian are illegally crossed out by a census supervisor. Pause. Now I'm gonna break it down in entirety, thorough. So this census field worker is out in the field all day, busting his ass in Sussex County, right? Identifying these tribal family members as such, right? And then he comes back with his works all day long. Say, here you go, boss. Here goes all my work. I did all the work. I got everybody on here. Here goes my work for the day. Okay, thanks. I appreciate that. So then this is illegally crossed out by his supervisor and replaced with the misclassification, which synonymously misclassification means misnomer or to misname. So misnomer, misclassification, misname, and replaced with the misclassification of African or Negro. Henceforth, the oxymoron African American, which is an oxymoron, or Negro. This is why they're calling us that. That's what they did. It says then after he did that, then when they are filed with the field office, he replaced it with that and put it in the field office. Said these people are that. So now they've stripped our identities away, and now they're identifying us as African and Negro. So now we're considered commercial property of the corporation. Now, this is also the cross reference to that. And further, 1935. Delaware Revised Code 2631, Section 9 equates Moors as Indians. And we know Indian is the misnomer and commits to providing funding for school teachers for them separate from white schools and colored schools. So we're not fucking with none of y'all, even
Wow.
though the white status is our status. This is our shit. It don't belong to them. That's ours. That's another ball game in itself too, though, right? Now, watch this. Now let's put a stamp in it on why our people think they get in the way with something when they say, "Oh man, we some wild ass Indians." Like, no, you wild ass stupid. You wild ass stupid. Let's check this out. Now I'm gonna give y'all a reference, right? Because that's what we do. Anytime Moores is giving sources, we are giving information. We show our people the sources, right? It says 1740 South Carolina Slave Code, Acts of the South Carolina General Assembly, 1740, number 670, right? Now watch this. Okay, let's look at this, right? It says, whereas in His Majesty's plantation in America, slavery has been introduced and allowed, and the people commonly called Negroes or Negros, Indians, mulattoes, and mestizos have been deemed absolute slaves. Oh, that part. That's the part that they're not going to tell you about. And we're going to break it down. And the subjects of property, your property, you're a slave. I'm a free Moor. Don't talk to me. You're a fucking slave. In the hands of the particular persons, the extent of whose power over such slaves ought to be settled and limited by positive laws, so that the slave may be kept in due subjection and obedience. Obey your master. And the owners and other persons having the care and government of such slaves may be restrained from exercising too great rigor and cruelty over them, and that the public peace and order of this province may be preserved. We pray. Now watch this part. We pray, your most sacred majesty, that it may be enacted. They praying because now if they can commercially enslave you, they can take your fucking dough. Now watch this. I got you on the title, Earth Goddess. Now watch this. Now I'm going to give y'all a little piece of this first section, and then I think I got one more receipt for y'all, and we're going to dialogue about it. So I'm gonna highlight the following, and we're gonna look at it for what it is. Not what people, we're gonna look at this shit. It says now, and be it enacted. What does that mean? Now it's law. They made it law. And by who? They're gonna tell us all that. And be it enacted, effective now. It says by the Honorable William Bull Esquire, Lieutenant Governor and Commander-in-Chief, by and with the advice and consent of His Majesty's Honorable Council, and with the Commons House of Assembly of this province, and by the authority of the same, that all Negroes and Indians, and I'm going to pause right here, let me make something clear. When they say Negroes and Indians, when they specify these Indians, they're talking about the ones that identify as Indians but are not federally recognized, right? So right here, it says free Indians. They say free Indians in amity with this government. Key word right here, amity. Amity means friendship. Just like the Treaty of Peace and Friendship is the Treaty of Amity and Commerce. Friendship, peace and friendship, right? Peace, amity and commerce, friendship and commerce. We're supposed to do business peacefully. So they're in friendship with the government that has them as slaves. So this means that the people that are federally recognized are actually house Negroes. They're house Negroes. You see? It says, and degrees mulattoes and mestizos who are now free, accepted mulattoes or mestizos who are now free or shall hereafter be in this province, and all their issue and offspring born or to be born shall be, and they are hereby declared to be and remain forever hereafter absolute slaves. That part, that's the part they're not going to tell you about, that Indian shit. You see, now watch this. Now let's further put a stamp in this shit further, right? Let's dig. You remember, y'all know that little skit they got with the dude on there, the cat off the movie. They got that skit. He said, "Oh, I'm tired, Grandpa." And in my mind, it's like 5. You keep digging. So we're gonna keep digging, right? Watch this. Hold on. So watch this. And we already know this. I'm gonna affirm it. Watch this. Let's make it make sense. Okay, boom. Watch this. Now, the question was, is Indian a misnomer, right? Yes, the term Indian, when used to refer to indigenous peoples of the Americas, and you see how it's specified. Yes, when used to refer to who? To the indigenous peoples of America. This is when I say I'm American Indian. There's no place called American Indian. If you're saying you're Indian, that's a misnomer. That's why it's a misnomer. If you're not from India, you're a pretendian. So even the people saying that we're natives and you black natives are not natives, you guys are pretendians. No, all you niggas is pretendians. All y'all pretendians, nigga, you and them, all y'all. It says, again, I told you, it's considered a misnomer. And I'm going to check this out. And this is why. Why is it a misnomer, though? Let's make it make sense a little further. We're going to drive it home because 5 going to keep digging. Here's why. It's always the why, y'all. Ask the question, why? Why? Historically, remember, again, history, law and history go together. So we're looking at the history of it, right? Law and history go together. I stress that. The historical mistake. The term originated. Where did it come from? What are the origins of that term? The term originated from Christopher Columbus' mistaken belief that he had reached the East Indies when he landed in the Americas. Inaccuracy. The indigenous peoples of the Americas are distinct from the people of India, you see, and have their own diverse cultures, languages, and histories, right? So, and we can go further into this, right? And let me see really quick, and then really quickly with the etymology, right? And this is why we do the etymology. Etymology, Negro, right? What does it say, right? Who came over here, y'all? So the Spanish, we had them enslaved too over there because Spain, as we know it today, over there, that's New Spain. That's a new place over there, a new name on that particular area over there, right? So that used to be known as Al Andalus. When you do the history, you'll know it's Al Andalus, and that was our last stronghold over there in Granada. It says, that's why it says, because they barely start using the word Negro or Negro on us to denationalize us, to strip us of our identities, because Negro or Negro in law renders you civiliter mortuus, which means in law, you're DEAD. You have no standing in law. Henceforth, the reason why they be pew-pewing the so-called black people and getting away with it and nothing happens. Think about it. Think about it. You have no standing in law. So what does that mean? You're considered DEAD in law, and you can look at that in the Black's Law Dictionary. It's a Latin phrase, which is one of your languages. You hear me? One of your languages. Yeah, Latin is one of your languages. If you don't know that, it's called civiliter mortuus, which means civilly unalive in the view of the law, basically. And this is like so, and that's what the Portuguese too. And when you look what it says that comes with it, right? Because there's no black skin race. This is something they created. It says gloomy, unlucky, bad, wicked, etc., etc. And we can go on with that, right? This is the spell casting of the stuff. So when our people are saying Black Lives Matter, that they're casting witchcraft onto themselves. They're acting as witches and warlocks and don't even know it because they're under the spell. Now, fast forward, people say when we tell them it's an adjective, they say it's a noun. That's a noun. This is an adjective and a noun. Why is it an adjective? Why is an adjective a noun right now, right? I'm going to tell you why. Because you guys then they're telling you why. 1590s used with a capital N became general early 20th century, right? E.g. means basically an example. 1930 in New York Times style book, right? So they're giving you reference on a timeline when it became known as a noun. It only became used as a noun because now you have so many people claiming to be so-called black or negro in the Spanish language, right? That now, since you have so many people claiming it, you can actually legally make it a noun. And that's the only reason why. That's the only reason it became a noun, because our people are asleep. Now, this is the part, though, because if you guys don't know as well, they actually, from what I know, they took our nationality on paper in 1774. So I know, just like the other Moors know, we go down to where we know the 1700s when they took our shit. So this is the first time we run into 1700s. And that's why it makes sense that it's in this realm, showing the etymology. You go back in history, meaning what? African Americans. They specify in a particular people, these people, African American, vernacular, the English language is spoken by U.S. blacks. It's from 1704. French degree is a 16th century borrowing from Spanish because they the ones that start calling us that bullshit. It says negro, older English words were more and blackamoor. They start calling us blackamoor. They drop the amor, and when you say amor, that means love in Spanish as well. And that's also one of your languages. It's similar to Latin. It's more or less Moorish Latin. And they left it like this, and now in law, you are considered DEAD in law. So with that being said, I really hope, and I stress that this made sense to y'all, okay? And if there was any receipts that y'all didn't get, let me know, and then I can go back over the receipts, okay? So if there's anybody, speak up so I can go over it. And I know one of the Moors in here said about a certain receipt, and I think it was the one, I think it was the slave law right here. Let me see. It's this one right here. So if you would like to know, let's see. Let me scroll up here to the top. Boom. It's basically, I'm gonna turn my device sideways so y'all can maybe get a screenshot. This is what it is right here, y'all. So that's that receipt, right? And so if it's any other receipts, let me know and I'll put it up there. Okay?
Bro, that was good, bro. That was excellent.
Yeah, that's
For
a
sure.
boatload of evidence, man. And they know a lot of them Indio dudes. They don't come around here playing. But for the record, that's kind of like you say, that's the house N word, and they are complicit, with they ignorance. So they enemies of the state as well at this point. We beyond trying to teach somebody legalese and law. So, I don't really rock with them at all. I know a lot of our women is still claiming that stuff, but hey, it's no excuse for ignorance. But anyway, I got another couple of guys up here. Luke, man, you've been up here waiting for about 10 minutes, man. If you want to add something or, subtract, let me know.
Keep
But you,
tapping that screen, people. Keep tapping that screen.
Hey, assalamu alaikum. I don't have anything to add, but I do. I want to thank you all for inviting me, and I appreciate the presentation that the brother just broke down. It's very informative.
okay, appreciate you for popping out and listening. I'm going to put this video on my YouTube channel. Y'all can go and look at my profile. It's a link for my YouTube where I post all these videos that's very informative and powerful builds. And this video, a lot of people don't know what it's about. I'm gonna go on and let you know once again. Hold on 1 second. 1 second, hold on. Let me brief you. It's about the AMPAC Moroccan people that we're dealing with and the Moorish American. Which one is more formidable and usable while we in the stages of development that we in? So we are just using the carpenter's tools that's in the Holy Quran, Circle 7, cutting the ungainly part and shaping ourselves out, hammering the truth in. And it's good to question, argue, debate, whatever. And what's a soldier without a foe? So we putting this information to work. I'm really not about the hatred or, tearing somebody down. You know what I'm saying? But if you're incorrect, I feel the need to address you. So that's what I'm doing with AMPAC because I don't agree with everything that they're saying and distributing. But I do believe we should have our own. We don't have to share. Everybody else got their own, and this is the greatest continent on a planet. What is we about to, abandon what we built for, just because these other nations is up in here as citizens or whatever. And that's why I believe the prophet taught us to take our place in the affairs of men versus trying to live to ourselves and you know what I'm saying, just run and flee. No, we gonna sit up here and take control of the government that our ancestors um that they created. You know what I'm saying? Our ancestors made this on the commercial aspect, and we use the descent national flag to denote nationality so people will know what they're dealing with ahead of time. You're not dealing with no NBCs and no afros. You dealing with the descendants of one of the greatest empires and kingdoms, states, whatever that this earth has seen. You see, so that's what I believe this is all about. I'm an American. I'm Moorish by descent. We are descendants of Moroccan, but that was yesteryear when the Sharifian Empire was ruling with the sword. You know what I'm saying? Today we're using the pen, and it's all about this money, man, and building up. So hopefully that's what we can do. But if I'm gonna ask y'all, if anybody else got some questions or wanna add something, I'm about to end this video. It's been on 4 hours. this is your chance right here to ask questions. You got 5 titles up here, King Kelly Slots, and you got me. And you know what I'm saying? Ask some questions right quick, because it definitely got to get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? So
And
yeah, this is a master build.
for sure, I was gonna say too as well. And for those that just came and missed it earlier, I went over some things as far as it goes with the word Moroccan, and and American, and some of our people like, nah, we Moroccan, we not American, we ain't American nothing, and it's like, look, what you have to do, remember, language matters, y'all, too, right? So we have to put these words, is like, you have different stuff going on, right? And I broke it down earlier. You guys, I urge you to do your research. So the ancient Berber word, which we are of the ancient Berbers, we're descendants of the ancient Berbers.
Right, the
So
mound builders. That's exactly who they
exactly.
are.
So that being said, right? So since we have the ancient, and you can look this up in the section 4 of the South Carolina slave codes as well, and it'll tell you the word Negro. And I went over that. The word Negro was used to slave the ancient Berbers. So that being said, the ancient Berber word for Morocco. So now we're going back in ancient times. So anciently, the ancient Berber word for Morocco was called Amaruk.
Right.
Amaruk. So the first 4 letters in that saying that is the same thing as American.
Right.
American. And you were just going back anciently. So really, in actuality, from what I see and what I'm reading and looking at linguistics and our ancient tongue, it is more proper to say American than Moroccan. But however, essentially, it's like they basically mean the same thing. And I'm just saying anciently. So it's like, however you would like to look at that, I just urge y'all to do your own homework. I'm just saying how I'm looking at it, how I see it, and based on language and knowing that we are the ancient Berbers, we go back. So that's why when they say the word America, that you're talking about the Moors. The word Moor is in the word America, the American. We are the Khans. All of us are considered Khans. They're like, oh, you're Khan. We're all Khans. We're bosses. Each and every one of we're gods. Know that.
I
So
like to look at it like
I
America
yield.
is ancient, and our nation gave birth to that place, Morocco. So you dealing with mother and son, if you ask me. That's why they incorporate the original Morocco Moorish flag or Moroccan flag was an all red flag. But anyway, I do got one more question. Leah Bay here asked, how do Moors uplift the Moabitess / Moorish American woman, Empress? So if y'all want to try to break that down, my answer was by showing her how great she was in the past, because a lot of our women think they sexy red and little Kim and stuff. So showing how great she was on the spiritual side and the empire side, and just don't use her for sexual purposes. That's how I believe we can uplift the Moabites, and teach her this how to represent like how we
Put her
represent.
back up on this pedestal. Put her back up
Right,
on a
exactly.
pedestal where she belongs. You know, that's how you do it. And she have to be willing, you know, to stand fast on that pedestal. You know, like a Moorish empress. You know,
Exactly.
like brother said, she can't be running around here like the lady Sexy Red or Little Kim, or you know what I mean. So you have to be ready to be that empress.
Exactly. So yeah, man, that's the best answer for right now. But we're gonna do the build on American and Moroccan later, because I like his demonstration on one is ancient, one is modern. So there's some relativity, but it's power in both. It's force and power in both. Claiming your ancient and your present. So anyway, man, I'm gonna go end this video right now. I might be going back live later, but I gotta go eat. I've been on here for 4 straight hours.
You did your thing, man.
I
You did your
appreciate it,
thing.
man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, salute to everybody who came up here. And if you don't know, I got a YouTube channel called PNF God Mode TV, and I got another channel called Royal Noble American right here on TikTok. Make sure y'all go get up on all my content. Make sure y'all subscribe to everybody that was up here on this panel, 5 titles, Moorish Master Teacher, and even the AMPAC brothers. Because one thing we ain't going to do is assume that we know what they talking about. We got to go into their studies and really figure things out, making sure that everything is well, and making sure we stand true to what Noble Drew Ali brought as well. Because one brother kept saying, All I heard was Noble Drew Ali. I don't follow no man. Well, where the hell did you learn about Moore and Moorish at? Who taught you that? Name the man who brought you this information besides Noble Drew Ali.
Right.
You know, so until then, get your lessons up, man, because Noble Drew Ali got the keys. You feel me? So I don't know where they coming, but yeah, we gonna talk about it because I like the momentum that we've been getting on these topics. So guess what? I'm gonna be back until we all get this common conception and reality on what we need to do together. Because individual, like King Cali Slots got his stuff together, we all got to get our stuff together as a nation to be a force. Because, like I say, it's a power in what we're doing, but we can be a force if we together. So yeah, I'm loving this. I'll catch y'all in a few days or tomorrow, whatever. Peace
Peace.
out.
Peace.